Conditions as the Michigan Wolverines in the Big Ten get ready to take on the ACC's Stanford Cardinal. And we welcome you to Surprise Stadium in Surprise, Arizona, with Bryce All-American David Arzma. I'm Mike Farron. And yesterday, boy, both of these teams with upset victories, David, both played sensational defense and a couple of really good ball games.
Absolutely. Michigan getting out front against Oregon State. Dax Whitney, one of the biggest prospects in baseball as a sophomore, did a wonderful job with bats, handled their job, got Dax out of the game. Defense kept them in it, and then they won it.
And Stanford was in a seesaw affair with Arizona, much like the Wildcats game this afternoon. Finally breaking things open late offensively and getting some great work out of a pair of freshmen in the pen.
Absolutely. That sixth inning, they scored 5 runs to finally take the lead, separate themselves. Peterson and Erspamer at the end of the ball game looked fantastic. Perfect.
Now both of those guys covering 3 2/3 innings to help Stanford to the win over U of A. This afternoon, Oregon State rallied with a 5-run 7th inning to come back and beat the University of Arizona 7-6. Then you see the head coaches, Dave Esker from Stanford on the left, Tracy Smith from Michigan on the right, exchanging the lineup cards. Happy birthday to Tracy Smith, 60 years old today, and 1 win shy of 900 for his head coaching career coming into tonight.
60 years old and killing it on social media like a 20-year-old. Doing great. One of the best. If you don't follow his Instagram, people, get on there, follow that Instagram.
You can see his players have made him wear number 60 today. Normally he wears number 13, but the former head coach at Miami of Ohio and Indiana and Arizona State now running the Wolverines program as the Stanford Cardinal take the field, and we are getting ready for baseball tonight. The starter tonight for Stanford, a right-hander, former perfect game All-American Aiden Keenan, the junior right-hander, is going to take the ball tonight as the Saturday starter. Stanford still trying to figure out their pitching mix, but Keenan experience with a very good prospect pedigree.
Very big prospect pedigree for sure. Averaged 93.6 miles an hour with his fastball. Great stuff. Perfect game preseason, top 101 sophomores last year, all academic team this year. He's going to come at you with a good fastball slider. That's going to be the heavy mix tonight. We'll see what he gets with those other pitches.
Keenan was a key reliever and saved 5 games a year ago, but now moving into the rotation for Stanford as they got a solid performance out of Nick Dugan last night. Dugan was battling his command a little bit, but kept his team in the game and managed to get into the 4th inning. As you see, Luke Lavin, who homered last night for Stanford, and behind him, Braden Jeffries. And this Michigan lineup last night, Evan Hager in the 7th spot. He was the big star, knocking in 4. Game-tying 2-run single, go-ahead 2-run base hit for him in his Michigan debut. See the lineup, a little different than last night, as we are just about ready for baseball this evening. Temperatures cooling down a little bit. There's no breeze, and that's how the Stanford defense looks. Exactly the same as last night. Both these teams played excellent defense yesterday, as we mentioned. Tatum Marsh at right field is an absolutely great defender.
Marsh and Sell, both of those guys had wonderful games. Marsh, you saw him running all to the corner all game long to the gap corner, and Sell making some big plays out in left field. It's always nice as a pitcher knowing you got good guys on the corners and corner outfield spots.
Now you see Marsh with the deep sigh as the sophomore leadoff man trying to get Stanford to 2-0. Crowd has dissipated a little bit from this afternoon here at Surprise when the entire grandstand was full for the Oregon State-Arizona game, mostly with Oregon State fans. I guess the U of A hosts Texas Tech in basketball tonight in Tucson. I think that had a lot of the attention. And Aiden Keenan yet set to go as he will face the leadoff man, Braden Jeffries. Jeffries in the leadoff spot again today. He's 0 for 4 with a walk yesterday as he digs in. Both these 1-0 teams getting ready to do battle. Keenan into the wind, and the first pitch of the ball game is upstairs the ball, and we are underway.
96 miles an hour. Good. I'll take that. That's a good fastball. Now, Jeffers, what you don't see in the box score is his plays at third base all night long. It was kind of Johnny on the spot, coming in onto balls, going to his left on some baseballs. Was just always there. The ball was finding him, and he was making great plays.
Yes, last year as a freshman was a super utility player. Now they're settling him in on the infield. He played 7 different positions a year ago as he takes a strike, and the count 1-2. Jeffries overall hit .267 last season with an on-base percentage near .400. He's behind in the count here. Keenan fires a fastball by him for out number 1.
97, reached back and blew it by him. That is an electric fastball.
One out. Cade Lanoff, he moves into the 2 spot today. Lanoff, the designated hitter, 3 hits yesterday in the win over Oregon State. And the first pitch to the DH. On the ground to second. And that I will throw him out. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Brendan Stressler. See, boy, that one really got into his kitchen. 96.
96 is no joke. A couple quick outs. Again, Stanford had a good game yesterday, right? Wonderful game, but now you're seeing them jump out right out of the gate. This is what you want out of a team that wins their first game. You want a pitcher get on the mound, pumping strikes.
Stressler takes strike 1. Keenan back to work. And the pitch. Stressler behind 0-2. Stressler transfer from St. Louis, homered yesterday. A dozen home runs for the Billikens last year.
Tell you what, Keenan likes that fastball.
Well, he hasn't needed to really show anything else to this point. That one misses, and the count 1-2 to Stressler. Keenan rocks and delivers. Called strike 3. A 9-pitch perfect first for Aiden Keenan with a pair of strikeouts, including this one. Looking. We go to the bottom of the first. Michigan 0, Stanford coming to bat. Beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona shown there, just about 40 miles from where we're located in Surprise, Arizona. And Cade Montgomery is going to make the start for Michigan. Bit of a surprise. We thought Kurt Barr was going to get the ball in the Saturday roll, but instead it's Montgomery, the transfer from Utah Tech, who has a big fastball.
Big fastball. Spent a couple years at Utah Tech. Last year in 2025, he pitched 10 games, 4-2 record, struck out 48 batters in 57 innings, so does have some strikeout stuff. Getting the Game 2 start is a big deal for Cade, who coming here from Michigan for his first year.
Yeah, they really targeted in the portal, and he will face this talented Stanford lineup, starting with Tatum Marsh. Rintaro Sasaki, the all-time prep home run leader in Japan, had a big night yesterday with a homer and a double as well. a look at the starting 9 for Stanford. And Tatum Marsh was 1 for 5 last night. He will lead things off. The right-handed hitting sophomore right fielder takes a fastball outside for ball 1. Marsh turned in a terrific freshman season a year ago. He was an on-base machine for Stanford, first at the bottom of the lineup and then at the top after the midway point. Count evens at 1-1. Pitch, swing and a miss. 1-2. That got a little from you. Okay.
Interesting. Good movement. So first pitch fastball, then a slider or a cutter. Then you came right back.
Good. Fouled away.
Moving the ball. Good action. Sometimes there's fastballs like we just saw at 97 miles an hour, and then there's fastballs at 90. So they're not always the same. A 90-mile-an-hour fastball might be hard to see. A 97 might be easy to see, even though it definitely did not look like easy to see out of Keenan. But not all pitches are the same, even though the velos might be way different.
He's gone to that cutter 4 times in a row, and the count now 2-2 to Marsh. He's got to have him leaning out over the plate. You wonder if he comes with a fastball in here. Well, looks like that's where Miller's setting up. And a chopper to the right side. To his left is Turner, who will throw him out. Leadoff man gone on the Stanford first.
I'm guessing we're going to see a lot of cutters out of Montgomery tonight. It's a hard cutter, 90 miles per hour with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball right behind it.
Get a look at the Michigan defense. They were terrific yesterday, especially the left side with Jeffries and Drew Culbertson, the transfer from Oklahoma State. They were outstanding. Greg Pace made a couple of really nice plays in center field on balls that were knuckling, fighting the sun. Charlie Bates hits the shortstop from Palo Alto. The sophomore takes a strike. It's 0-1. He had a 2-run triple yesterday, a pair of hits. Bates, one of the most prominent names in this Stanford lineup. Played center field mostly a year ago around a thumb injury that he suffered in the Cal series. Now taking over at shortstop, his natural position. 1-1 the count. Line leaping grab. Excellent play by Culbertson, the shortstop, 2 outs.
Good placement there, too. That is, somebody's in that dugout getting a handshake saying wonderful defensive placement. That ball should be a base hit to almost anybody. But when you put a shortstop there, it's an out. Great job.
The ball was absolutely smashed. 2 outs, nobody on. Jimmy Nadai hits. Nadai, the Australian second baseman who led Stanford in home runs a year ago and returns for his senior season. First pitch, strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Nadai really the leader of this Stanford team. Dave Esker leaning on his senior to help keep everything in order. Breaking ball to the dirt, 1-1. He is an incredibly supportive teammate. And those accolades should go along with the fact that he has legitimate power.
You have to love when a hitter believes in themselves, bets on themselves, comes back for a senior year. As a team, for Stanford, as teammates and as a coach, you have to love when the player wants to do that.
Some hit a home run at Doug Kingsmore Stadium in Clemson last year that I believe landed in Charleston. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes, and Cade Montgomery's first inning as a Michigan Wolverine is perfect. We've played one. No score. Michigan and Stanford here at the Surprise Arizona College Baseball Classic. Some high cheese. Both of these teams won their games yesterday. The big story for Michigan was they played an outstanding game defensively.
Absolutely, defensively, the left side of the infield, in particular with Jeffers and Culberson, was making plays all day long, moving into the boat, going to both sides. As a pitcher, it makes it really easy for you.
And then Stressler, with his first home run in a Michigan uniform, got them on the board. They were down 3-1 at one point to Oregon State. And Stressler's blast was the lone run. They scored off Dax Whitney. And you can see again the defense coming up big with Matt Ossenfort. And here's Evan Hager's game-tying two-run single. Hager, whose dad played at Michigan as a transfer from Houston, and he knocked in 4 runs, including these, the game winners off A.J. Hutchison in the 7th inning as Michigan stunned Oregon State yesterday.
No, huge win.
Greg Pace Jr. with some terrific defense, too.
Incredible win for Michigan against Oregon State, coming in against Dax Whitley, one of the biggest prospects in baseball. It was a tough win. Great game by them.
There you see Tracy Smith, the head coach at Michigan. In his 4th year, man who once led Indiana to the Men's College World Series. The first pitch misses to Colby Turner, ball 1. Turner at second yesterday in the cleanup spot today, playing second base. Chopper to short. Bates gives ground and will fire across in time to get Turner 1 out.
Good job by Bates. That bounce kind of in between. Could have run in on the ball, but you know what? Knowing himself, knowing his arm, and knowing the runner, stepped back and made the play.
Good look at what Bates is able to do. That was not an easy play because of that second hop. The infield's in Arizona very hard. Matt Ossenfort, the transfer from NC State, takes the ball outside. It's 1-0. Ossenfort, a slugger who just has not been able to play enough to really tap into the power consistently in his first 2 collegiate years. Count 1-1. Started his career at Vanderbilt. Spent last year with the Wolfpack. And now on to Michigan. Here's the 1-1. 1-2. Michigan looking for power at first base. Last year they lost Colin Priest in the portal at Clemson. So now a year later they're able to get a power hitting first baseman. Ossenfort hits a 2-hopper to first. Rintaro races to the bag for out number 2.
Already seeing some good defense tonight. Both of these teams played wonderful defense yesterday. I'm expecting nothing less. We're seeing just, again, it's not the hardest play by Sasaki, but you know what? Being able to move in, being able to make your pitcher get away from that ball and take it yourself is a big deal.
2 outs for Noah Miller, the redshirt sophomore. He has started both games so far behind the plate. First pitch to the right-handed hitter. Strike. 0-1. Miller is going to start basically any game on a Friday evening or that'll happen on a Saturday afternoon. It would seem, as that one misses low, count 1-1. Or may come in and play those. That's because the other catcher for Michigan is Ellie Kligman. He is the only Orthodox Jewish baseball player in the country, and so from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, he cannot play. It's a really interesting tandem and a very cool story. Kligman, the son of a very prominent baseball agent, Mark Kligman. And so Miller will see a good chunk of the time, the redshirt sophomore, but they love the defense that Kligman brings as well. And he is available today, the 2-1. Foul to the plate, 2-2.
You know they'd love to have him playing more, love to have him in the lineup, but they respect it. They respect it so much that they're okay with keeping him around, even though he can't play as much as they want him to.
Well, he is a very good player and an excellent defender. Now, Miller was on the all-tournament team in the Big Ten a year ago, so he certainly has had some good moments in his short Michigan career. He's down on strikes here, and Aiden Keenan sent down the first 6 he's faced, half of them on strikes. A very good start for the Stanford right-hander. And we played 1.5. Michigan and Stanford have scored. As you can see, it is a great night here in Surprise, Arizona. A terrific one for baseball. Our fourth game is the middle game of the 7-game tournament here in Surprise. Michigan and Stanford playing on a 65-degree night, barely a breeze. It is perfect tonight, and both starting pitchers have been perfect to this point. Through 1.5 as Brady Reynolds digs in to lead things off for Stanford, the left-handed hitting designated hitter, facing the righty Cade Montgomery. First pitch to Reynolds, down low, 1-0. This Stanford offense is largely led by underclassmen. Reynolds, Jimmy Nadai, Ethan Hott. Really the key guys as that one lined into left field, a base hit for Reynolds. A big turn at first, the first hit of the ball game, leads off the second. But for the most part, their talent as a sophomores, and they're very excited about the freshman class. I'm curious what your impression was of Stanford's offense with the first look yesterday.
You know, I liked it. Obviously, it took a little bit for the offense to get going. They were scoring a little bit more runs late. Every time they scored, Arizona kind of scored right behind them, so you're kind of caught off by both offenses. But I liked it a lot. What I like these guys in the middle, you see Reynolds, you see all the power he can have. Sasaki was all over, pulling a home run down the line with another double. You have to love Nadai. You know, Nadai is just the man in the middle of that lineup, sets everything. But when you have young players like they do, you know you're always reloading. You're not having to rebuild. You're always having a lineup that is reloading as you're able to keep playing. And the freshman played wonderful.
Rintaro Sasaki, the sophomore, takes a strike in the count 1-1. As David mentioned, he homered yesterday and doubled. He is the most prominent Japanese amateur to play college ball. There have been a couple of others on the West Coast. Riko Nishida with Oregon, who was a contact hitting second baseman, now in the White Sox system. Joe Ayama also. And that went back to the mound and a 1-6-3 double play, 2 outs. And Sasaki, the all-time prep home run leader in Japan, and he grounds into the double play there. So Montgomery races the leadoff single almost immediately. 2 outs in this scoreless second, and they'll bring up J.J. Moran.
Getting in the hand, right on the hands of Sasaki, jammed him up. There's not a whole lot you can do with that ball. Montgomery, yes, gave up the leadoff hit to Reynolds, but has really looked good so far in these first 5 batters, controlling the zone, throwing multiple pitches for strikes and outs.
Moran yesterday 1 for 4 with a walk. Takes a strike, 0-1. Last year, Stanford barely ran at all. This year, well, if it's anything like last night, they're going to run forever. 6 stolen bases in the victory over Arizona. I don't think that's really going to be their game. I think they were taking advantage of an Arizona pitching staff that is more concerned with the hitters than they are the base runners.
Yes, I agree with you. But I do think they can find a spot there if they're able to have the power that they have, that we know they have, and be able to run. They'll be a menace to opposing pitchers and opposing teams. You want to have as many different dynamics as you can as a hitting staff.
Moran down on strike. Second strikeout for Montgomery and a scoreless second for the righty. We head to the third. No score. Stanford and Michigan. Here on the Saturday night in Surprise, Arizona in the 2026 College Baseball Series.
Leading off the Wolverine, right fielder, 0 header Baker.
Your Flow College subscription gets you all that action that you see on the screen there, including a ton of early season baseball tournaments. This one The Shriners Children's Showcase going on right now in Arlington, Texas in the next 2 weeks. The Amity Bank College Classic. 6 teams in each of those 3 tournaments. Here, Michigan and Stanford are scoreless. Evan Hager swings and misses. He hits nothing in 1. Bottom of the lineup due for Michigan. Hager, Greg Pace, and Drew Culbertson. Big debut yesterday for Hager. A game-tying 2-run single, a go-ahead 2-run single in his Michigan debut. His dad, Greg, played for the Wolverines, played in the minor leagues with the Tigers. So it's a bit of a homecoming for Evan Hager. And Hager's dad has a pretty good story behind him in that his first college home run at Michigan happened on a junior college field in Texas, a McAllen Junior College, was off a 2-way player from Miami of Ohio, Tracy Smith, the head coach at Michigan. As Hager flies out to left, 1 out. Tracy was telling us that story about being in the room, and they started talking, and he's like, I remember playing Michigan about the same time, and Hager was like, I hit my first home run at McAllen off of Miami, Ohio, and Tracy, who was an infielder in Pro Bowl, went, I pitched that game, and they figured out that Hager's dad, Greg, had hit his first career collegiate homer off Tracy Smith.
Is that one, as a dad, where you keep mentioning it, or do you completely let that go? Because you don't want to wear out your son's head coach, but at the same time, you also got to let him know, hey, I got you. Every time you see him, you're just like, I got you.
My guess is, I don't know, I mean, you would know more than I would in this regard. Not that you ever gave up any home runs, but my guess is that you probably remember it more than the hitters do.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and that's kind of, I take that up, like, offensively. Like, I take it to heart that I didn't matter that much to most hitters. But yes.
Strike, it's 2-1.
And that's the problem. When you see a hitter and you know got you, and you have to look him in the eye and be like, yeah, you got me.
But the flip side of it is, if you punch them out, especially multiple times, that's the first thing they think of.
Good. They should. We're actually, our baseball practice the other night, Matt Holliday's youngest son was practicing with us. And so Joaquin Soria is also one of our coaches on our baseball team. First thing I did is had to send out a little text to all the coaches with my stats versus Matt Holliday and Joaquin's stat versus Matt Holliday. Yeah, 1 for 7 with I think 3 punch outs, but who's counting?
Great pace, draws a walk. He has great speed. Here's Drew Culbertson, first base runner for Michigan tonight. Culbertson, the transfer from Oklahoma State, where Matt Holliday's brother Josh is the head coach. They are Stillwater royalty, the Hollidays.
Yes, they are.
I don't think that they ever have to pay for ranch dressing at Eskimo Joe's. Over to first and the runner back. Culbertson played a great defensive game. That was the big concern for Michigan coming into this, was would they be able to catch the ball? They had not had much time to practice outside over the course of the last 3 weeks. It's been bitter cold in the Midwest. But they looked really good in practice, it sounds like, on Thursday, and last night they were outstanding. Culbertson's a big part of that. He is in the lineup less for his bat and more for his defensive ability. The 1-0. Lands a breaking ball strike. And a count 1-1.
And when I went to Oklahoma State on a recruiting visit, Tom Holliday, Matt's dad, was the head coach.
Tom Holliday is the analyst on a lot of the ESPN Plus broadcasts for Oklahoma State, on their digital broadcasts. He's a great pitching coach. He was at NC State for a long time. And Tom Holliday, Matt has an uncle that's a longtime pro scout as well. The Hollidays are great Stillwater family. And both Matt and Josh were excellent option quarterbacks in high school.
Were
at
they?
Stillwater High. Yep.
I would not want to see Matt Holliday running down that field, having to tackle him.
Matt was working as a volunteer assistant for Josh for a while, and the runner goes, pitches outside, and no throw for Lavin, an easy stolen base for Pace. But Matt would take those giant biceps. Matt Holliday has some of the biggest forearms you've ever seen, and enormous biceps, and he was wearing a jersey as Pace of the good jump that was probably one size too small. It was a medium, and he would have his clipboard and rest his arms on the dugout rail in the most intimidating fashion. Gilbertson swings and misses. That's out number 2. And he was the most intimidating guy, and Robin Ventura was their first base coach at that point. So,
well, I remember too going for my visit and seeing John Farrell was the pitching coach.
Yep.
Like, it was a staff. Oklahoma State was. I wanted to be a Cowboy so bad.
Gary Ward, who was the guy who built the program at Oklahoma State. 2 outs, man at second. Top of the third, no score. Michigan looking for their first hit, trying to dent the scoreboard. Here's Jeffries. Struck out swinging his first trip. Takes high, 1-0. It's 4 strikeouts for Aiden Keenan so far. The Stanford right-hander comes set. The 1-0. One inside, the count 2-0.
Good take by Jeffers, being a good leadoff hitter. Some close pitches. Keenan has some wonderful stuff tonight. Not the easiest take, but being a leadoff hitter, that's sometimes you just have to get up there and see pitches.
The 2-0. 3-0.
I think Keenan would have liked that pitch, probably a little bit outside.
3 balls and no strikes. Man at scoring position here in the third. First scoring opportunity for either team. And a strike, it's 3-1.
Second pitch this inning where Lavin's had a little trouble catching that ball. One on the stolen base by Pace, but right there, that ball right down the middle. Had a little trouble getting it. Maybe Keenan's ball's moving at the last second. Lavin having a little bit of trouble.
3-1, swing and a miss.
One thing too, you have to consider this. This is the second game of the season. Could be new gear too. New catcher's mitt. Catcher's mitts take forever to break in. Even when you think it's ready, you still probably should wait. So it might be just popping out a little bit, just being a newer mitt.
Here's a 3-2. Inside, ball 4, and Michigan has a pair board to 2 outs.
Second walk of the inning, obviously to Pace and now to Jeffers. Close pitch on this last one. See if it's up. Maybe a little bit in. Michigan will take it.
Cade Ladahoff yesterday, 3 hits, including a double in the win over Oregon State. Grounded to second his first trip. No score, top of the third. Michigan trying to get a 2-out base hit and get on the board first. Keenan's first pitch. Popped up behind the plate, not a play. It's always entertaining to look at statistics, 5 plate appearances into the season, see that Cade Ladahoff's hitting .600 on the year.
Just keep that up. Just continue your pace.
Lined up the alley in left center field. He will keep up that pace. That'll go all the way to the wall and score a pair. Ladahoff around second. He's digging for third. He's in there with a sliding triple. It's 2-0 Michigan in the third.
Just wanted to get his pants dirty. That should have been a stand-up triple. Great job of hitting. Keenan's been wonderful through this entire beginning of the game, and he drove that ball into left field, left center field. 2-run triple. Now Michigan's on top.
And here's Brendan Stressler, who struck out looking his first trip. Well, now Ladahoff's hitting .667. And you know, part of him is thinking, I can keep this up all year.
It's easy. It's easy.
All I have to do is get 2 hits in every 3 trips to the plate, and I'll be just fine.
Can't believe I wasn't doing this before.
Outside of the count 1-1, he may never want to leave the state of Arizona the way things are going.
I wouldn't.
My guess is when they get home in a couple weeks to play Western Michigan, the weather probably won't be quite as nice. A strike in the count 1-2.
You're going to have to salt the infield.
Though they are expecting it to warm up this week. It's supposed to be in the 50s, so. 1-2 the count to Stressler. 2-0 Michigan. Ladahoff at third. Foul away off to left and out of play. Pitch, foul back. Stressler staying alive, fighting here. Keenan, who really cruised through the first 2 innings, hitting his first rough patch of the night. It's been a lot of fastballs in this inning.
42 pitches so far, 24 strikes.
And a pop-up. Shallow left. Coming in is Brock Sell, and the freshman left fielder will make the grab. And the inning is over, but Michigan gets the lead on the 2-out, 2-run double from Cave Ladahoff through 2.5. Michigan leads Stanford 2-0. 2026 College Baseball Series continues from Surprise, Arizona. Michigan Wolverines with a 2-0 lead over Stanford in the bottom of the 3rd inning here at Surprise Stadium. It's the spring training home of the Kansas City Royals and the Texas Rangers. It also will be the home this year to the Big 12 college baseball tournament. The Big 12 going to move their tournament here from the climate-controlled Globe Life Park in Arlington. Grounded to short. Culbertson fires the first to get Lavin. Leadoff man going into 3rd. It will probably be a little toastier here than it was in Arlington for those games, but this is a good environment for it.
Great environment for it. You know people love baseball here, but they come out to it. And at this point, though, with Culbertson in this Michigan infield, I'm assuming any ball hit is an out.
They have been really good so far. Here's Ethan Hott, the senior from Phoenix, squares the bunt, takes high, ball 1. Trying to do something to disrupt Montgomery's rhythm. He gave up a hit to start the 2nd, but then got a double play. 5'11" righty's been in control so far. Hott takes low. It's 2-0.
Montgomery, again, doing a great job of mixing his fastball, cutter, changeup, and slider in many different counts against both sides of the plates.
It's back in the count. It's 2-1. Blows him away with a high heater. It's 2-2.
When you have all of your pitches working for you, it's fun to play around with hitters a little bit. You're able to mix things up. Your fastball looks a lot more electric and jumps out of your hand when you're able to throw a cutter and a slider and change up all for strikes.
On the ground to short, Culbertson ranging to his left to throw out Hott. 2 outs. Makes it look easy.
Pro tip: don't hit it at that guy. It's real. It's an easy ball game. Don't hit it at the shortstop.
Two up, 2 down in the Stanford 3rd for Brock Sell, the freshman who had an impressive debut last night. 1 for 4 with a walk. Really good at bats. A couple of great defensive plays in the outfield as he takes ball one. Sell, perfect game All-American. One of the top recruits in the country coming into the year. He and Brock Kettleson. The star young Brocks in a 1-2-3 inning for Cade Montgomery. Making quick work of this Stanford lineup so far. We've played 3. The ground ball outs keep piling up for Montgomery. That's now 5 of them, and Michigan leads 2-0.
Leading off the game, we're going to second base number 14, Logan Curry.
Two nothing Michigan as we go to the 4th. Aiden Keenan walked a pair in the 3rd inning. Both of them came around to score. And after a fastball that was in the 96-97 range the first couple of innings, it was more around 94 last inning, and we're apparently missing an umpire here.
He's coming out now.
Here it comes.
Changing contacts.
David Buck needing a moment. Wonder if somebody was in there ahead of him. He had to wait. Colby Turner to lead things off.
And just picture him knocking on the door. Let's go.
I
Hurry
got
up.
a game to call.
Go.
It's fine if you want to do it for the second base ump, but come on. First pitch to Turner, fouled back. That's how it was. Aiden Keenan making the start for Stanford. We talked about him before, a former perfect game All-American. He faces the San Diego native Turner. Keenan, very highly touted recruit. He was a guy that in 2020 was throwing 85 miles an hour. That one rocking through the left side, a leadoff single for Turner. Now we've seen the mid-90s fastball, although it has started to back up a little bit as the game went on. And what was interesting talking to Dave Esker earlier this week, as you get another look at Turner's base hit, that he was interested in seeing how Keenan had to do when he had to start pitching. He said when he comes out, he's going to be electric, which we saw in the first 2 innings. Then the adrenaline starts to wear off. And again, he's been a reliever, or was last year. And so now, how do you manage it? And his point was when you start getting to 80 to 100 pitches. Well, right now he's having to manage it a little bit. That was his 50th pitch of the night. So interesting is something we need to track with Keenan is how he starts to make adjustments. Fouled away by Ossenford. It's 1-1.
And it's not like he's been getting into a ton of trouble getting hit. He had 2 walks. He had to walk to Pace and walk to Jeffers. And then Wadenhoff had that triple, but he got 2 outs before he gave up the triple. So it's not like he's been getting hit around and getting just crushed or anything like that. He got into trouble on himself. He built himself into trouble. Obviously, we just had the base hit there by Turner, but Keenan is the only one that got himself into trouble. Just the walks himself, and that's what you have to be able to maintain. Be able to handle, because you're going to give up a double or triple. It's a base hit. It's going to happen. Control the walks. If you can control those walks.
He's got a potential double play ball here. Nadai loses the handle on it, and they just get Ossenford at first, 1 out. Heads up play by Nadai to stay with it and get the out at first, but that could have been 2.
Could have been 2. Taylor made double play. Hard hit ball, hopping straight to Nadai's chest. Lost it on the transfer as he turned to go to second base. Still got the out. So, hey, you made the best of a tough situation. You're not going to see many of those errors by Nadai, even though it's not an error, I guess, the out. But Could have been a double play, but bringing it back to Keenan, like you said, want to see how he pitches 80 through 100. But right now, I want to see how he pitches 50 through 65.
First pitch to Miller is hammered to right center field. On the run and making the catch is the speedy Hot for number 2, and tagging and going to third is Turner. Nice play by Ethan Hott. He can cover some ground.
We've been seeing the outfield from both of these teams making wonderful plays, covering a lot of ground. This ball off the bat looked like it might fall in there just from the positioning standpoint. He was able to track it down. And you know what, you're also seeing too, you got to give some credit to Michigan, playing station-to-station baseball, getting across, even though you're taking advantage of a mess up by Nat-Eye. But again, you take advantage of what you're given.
Yeah, go ahead. Here's Hager. First pitch. Squares the bunt, tried to drag it, and bunts a foul. One thing I'd say on that play by Turner, generally on a ball like that, you want your base runner halfway, right? That 90 feet between 1 out and 2, between second and third, usually doesn't matter. We saw it matter earlier today on a wild pitch, but it's very rare when that happens. And so I almost wonder if there'll be a discussion with Turner about, hey, listen, go halfway on that one. It doesn't matter if you get to third. If it falls in and you don't score, that's a bigger problem.
I completely agree with you. I think a lot of times when you're looking at that and saying, yes, halfway and then adjust from there. But I don't want to say that ball off the bat looked like it was going to fall, yes. Mm-hmm. But there was a point about in the middle there where it looked like he probably had a beat on it. At that, I like the idea of you getting back there, tagging up, taking the third base. Now, if we're looking at Hager gets that bunt down, that's a run. You know, like, so it's college baseball. If this is pros, no problem. You go halfway, stay at second base. College, you get creative. These guys are going to do something. You know, guys that have power, middle lineups, or 7 hitters might lay something down, pull it to the first base side, and now you all of a sudden have a run. Plus, college pitchers are a lot more wild than pro pitchers generally.
That's a good point. 1-2 to Hager, the pitch. Takes down low, and the count 2-2 to the redshirt sophomore outfielder.
I'm going to say this, though. I don't like pulling the ball on a bunt to this part of the infield for Stanford. Sasaki, while he is a much bigger guy, bigger first baseman, one of the bigger guys we have this entire tournament, he can move.
On the ground to first, under the glove of a diving Sasaki for a base hit. Turner comes in to score on the single from Hager. It's 3-0 Michigan in the fourth.
Right as I say that, it's like giving Sasaki all the props in the world. Get that hard hit ball right underneath his glove. Again, that's a very tough play. But from watching Sasaki watch him move, he still got to that ball where a lot of times a lot of first basemen might not even be diving for that ball. So I'm not a big fan of trying to drag it at him, especially when he saw that bunt come down. He was moving fast.
Here's Greg Pace Jr., who walked and scored his first trip. Speedy center fielder, throw over to first, and Hager's back. 3-0 Michigan in the fourth. 3 2-out runs. In fact, their last 7 runs that they've scored have all come with 2 outs. But Hager runs, pitches the ball. Lavin's throw to second is not in time. Hager able to hold the bag. And now a man in scoring position with 2 outs again.
Hager able to get in there just before the ball's on that shortstop side of the bag. You teach your catchers, you got to keep it to that second base side. Actually, he pulled the ball out of the ground. That is a hard ball to throw. When you're pulling to your right, trying to throw down to second base, that's a really tough ball to throw. A lot of times you're going to throw it to that shortstop side. Nat-Eye did a good job of trying to even get it on the bag. And as we teach second baseman now with replay, keep that tag on him. Don't swipe. Keep the tag on the runner. Maybe he'll pop off.
1-1 the count to Pace. In the dirt, it gets through the wickets on Lavin, and heading to third is Hager, who makes an aggressive turn. Thomas Eager is going to come out to the mound here to talk to Aiden Keenan after that wild pitch.
It's a good time to talk to your pitcher. Slow things down, get the wild pitch. You had the ground ball. It could have been a double play to second base. You had a steal on a pitch that was a little bit away from the catcher, kind of getting away from him a little bit. Slow the game down. take a breath and breathe this one out and just make one pitch at a time.
Hager yesterday, two-run singles with 2 outs, a two RBI single here, and now at third with 2 outs at pace at the plate. Ziegler tries to get his junior right-hander back on track. Conference on the mound is over.
I wish I recorded all of the pitchers' meetings. All the times the pitching coach came out, you would hear the most random things. Half the time you're talking about a situation, the other half they're just talking random stuff. You know they're just trying to distract you, trying to relax you.
Here's the 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Yeah, my favorite description of that has been Corey Muscara, the coach at Duke, saying that his job as a pitching coach when he goes out there is, you're listening to your favorite song, they're static. My job is to help you get tuned back in. 3-2.
That's perfect. That is a perfect way to say it. And you don't know. Every pitcher's different. You don't know what you have to say. Every situation's different. Sometimes I need to hear exactly what I'm doing, exactly what's going wrong. And then sometimes I just need to hear something random.
3-2, way outside. Pace walks for a second time. And good speed at first. Runners at the corners now with 2 outs for Culbertson. A strikeout victim in the third. Pace can fly at first. I would think they're interested in testing Lavin. And Keenan. I shouldn't put all the blame on the catcher.
No. Put all the blame on the catcher. That's okay.
It's really like a reliever.
Catcher's the first one. It's so easy to blame the catcher.
Drew Culbertson batting. Michigan leading 3-0, threatening for more. First pitch, swing and a miss. Good breaking ball that time from Keenan. It's 0-1.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised right here if you see pace moving. Try to create a little something on the base path. You have a good lead, 3-0 lead.
The 0-1. In the dirt, gets away from Lavin, and Pace will take second on the wild pitch.
Yeah, that's a little easier when they just want to give it to you second base anyways.
1-1 the count. Now a base hit would mean a pair of runs. I think they probably would have let him go in that spot anyway.
Yes.
Not wanting to throw through and risk anything, but
you call that like a 3 or even a 4, a fake throw to second base, or throw straight down to third base.
Squares to bunt, does Culbertson, and takes inside. It's 2-1. And there's a right-hander beginning to toss on the Stanford pen.
And again, a lot of this is happening. Aiden Keenan losing command, losing control. It's not Michigan necessarily putting it on him. It's him allowing Michigan to get on base, allowing free stuff, allowing things to get in his head, pitches out of the zone.
This is pitch number 70 of the night, and he lands it for a strike. The count 2-2 to Culbertson. The number 9 hitter with a chance to bust this open for Michigan early. They lead 3-0. Runners get their lead at second and third. The pitch. 3-2.
Definitely overthrowing on that. Trying to get the strikeout, trying to push. And when you see pitchers do that, it's a count where they're normally throwing good strikes or close pitches. Really high fastballs tend to be overthrown. Trying so hard to get a strikeout.
Foul back. He made a mistake with that curveball, and Culbertson just missed. Maybe up just a little more than he wanted, but it was a hanger. The 3-2 again. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase the high hitter that time, and the inning is over. Michigan gets a run, but they strand a pair. We played 3.5. Michigan 3, Stanford nothing. Aiden Keenan gets out of the jam. Bottom of the fourth inning, 3-0 Michigan. The umpires had a long conversation amongst themselves at home plate, and then two of them went over to address Tracy Smith, the Michigan coach. And he seemed irritated. I don't know if it was something that was coming from the Michigan bench that they were concerned with, but Michigan was warned in the game against Oregon State yesterday as Tatum Marsh fouls at first base side, and it'll get out of play. We think for excessive celebration, but it did not look like Tracy Smith was all that happy that they were coming over, and he looked to give them the dismissive hand like, I'll handle this, but not happy.
I think he challenged them to a fist fight.
No, it's his birthday. He's going to be very kind. 0-1 low.
Definitely something going on. He was not happy with what the umpires were saying. But the third base umpire was pointing in their dugout.
On the ground is short to his left. Culbertson has it and throw out the speedy Marsh. 1 out.
I don't think they're hearing us. We did say don't hit it at that guy, and 3 of the last 4 outs have been at that guy. It is funny when we were talking about to coach about your defense and how much question. He said, you know what, it wasn't a question of the talent, it was a question of not getting ground balls on grass and on dirt and seeing what it's like. It's a different speed. Ball comes off the bat a lot differently when you're live in games under lights and you just don't know what you have. They have been nothing but almost perfect as a defense.
I don't think he'd want you to say that. He's worried about you putting the jinx on them now. But
well, I'd never say this if I was on Michigan.
That's right.
Not bullpen. I don't say any of this stuff.
I think that's the first changeup we've seen from Montgomery. Boy, this guy really knows how to pitch. 2-year starter at Utah Tech. He was a guy that Michigan was very excited to get out of the portal. And that one, hot shot to third, and Jeffries will throw him out. More good defense, 2 outs. That's now 7 ground ball outs of the 11 that he's recorded.
Jeffers almost had that ball before he's even out of the batter's box. That ball has come off so hot.
Montgomery had a 60% ground ball rate last year at Utah Tech. Lands a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Now, he is probably not the most famous athlete in his family. Did you know that?
I did not.
Montgomery's dad, Jeremy, was the runner-up for the World Long Drive competition in 2009.
I'm going to find him right now and challenge him. Let's do this.
Outside. 1-1. Listen, I have no doubt that you're an excellent golfer. I have no doubt that he is going to smoke you.
I competed long drive.
Do you really?
I won a tournament.
What was your total at?
I hit 390.
So in this one, in the finals, he lost in a playoff after they'd both gone, I believe, 480 is the number. So I don't.
Well, there's a lot of different factors. I'd say.
Oh, yeah, it was probably closer to sea level for you, right?
I beat 2 guys that were top 10 in that tournament.
Okay, all right.
No, it's wind, how it's landing.
How the ball comes off the club head.
How it comes off the club head.
Right. You just need the conditions to be perfect. You've got a chance. Is what you're saying.
Pretty much. Maybe.
Still, that's pretty cool. I think that's. Michigan's got some interesting backstories of the athleticism of their parents.
It's amazing.
We talked about it with Colby Turner, their second baseman, the other day, that his dad and uncle are in the Pro Surfing Hall of Fame.
He's like the least athletic person in the family. D1 baseball player.
2-2 the count. Well, I do like the idea of him winter surfing at Lake Michigan. Fouled away again.
That would be a cool photo shoot. Get him on the lake.
I'm sorry. I think you misspoke. I think you meant it's a cold photo shoot.
How good of a surfer do you think you are? Just your standard waking up in the morning. You're a baseball player, but when you have that in your family, you just get out there like it's just nothing.
I guarantee you he's a good surfer. He just probably is a better baseball player than surfer. He's got a sister who's like the top, or one of the top U.S. amateur surfers. Yeah, it runs in the family, so it's...
Is surfing a D1 sport?
I don't know that it is. That's a good question. The 3-2. Nadi to the left side. From the hole, Culbertson. Perfect to first. And a 1-2-3 inning again for Montgomery. 6 straight ground ball outs for the right-hander. We've played 4. Michigan leads Stanford 3-0. Tracy Smith has his team with a 3-0 lead as we head to the 4th season as the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. The birthday boy turning 60 today, wearing a number 60 jersey.
It's so funny. I love it. Baseball. There's just nothing like it.
1 win shy of 900 for his career as a Division I coach.
If they win, do you make him wear 900? I love it. There's nothing like college baseball in particular where you're just gonna have that. You're out here every single day. You're grinding. You're a team. You're a family, and I guarantee you somebody said made him wear it. They had a conversation.
Absolutely. But that's the looseness that jumps with it. I mean, there is a lot of. Oh, you certainly would know this way better than I would, having played and at the level you did at Rice, and also playing for one of the tougher coaches in the country in the late Wayne Graham at Rice. But for all of those tough moments, there are an awful lot of fun moments and I think that's the part that college coaches tend to get, is that, hey, this is still supposed to be fun. And
Yes.
The players certainly feel that way.
Yes, and college baseball was definitely a little bit different when I played, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had these bigger personalities that were
Jeffrey's down out strikes, 1 out.
a little bit tougher and being allowed to be tougher on hitters. So there was probably a little less of the fun mixed in, but they built that family. There was no doubt built that family, that culture, and joy to be at the ballpark every single day. What I loved about Wayne Graham, one of the greatest college coaches I've ever seen, ever been around, he was tough. It made you want to be better every single day. Made you want to try harder. He treated you like a son, but with high expectations of you. And when you're not going out there and playing with the same level of expectations that he has for you, he's going to let you know that. But that's not about performance. It's about effort. And that's what great coaches do. they're hard on you when your effort isn't there, and they understand when you struggle, when you're doing bad, or you're just having a bad day. They get it. But it's about the effort. It's about going out. What's the next play? You throw a ball. What's the next pitch? You don't live and die on one pitch or one result.
Ladhoff had a 2-run triple that gave Michigan the lead in the third. He's ahead 2-1. Now, as you see Trevor Moore beginning to get loose, actually it looks like he's about ready in the Stanford pen. The 2-1. Way outside, 3-1 to Ladhoff. Now, Tracy Smith has become a social media sensation. He's on Twitter, he's on Instagram, he's on TikTok. How do you think the OG Wayne Graham would have handled social media?
There's no chance he would have ever. Zero social media. And we would probably have had a meeting once a week about somebody else's social media posts. I could imagine trying to get Wayne Graham to do a TikTok dance.
Outside, ball 4, Ladhoff, a 1-out walk.
Oh, God. He might have done it. You know what he would have done? After he won the College World Series, he would have done one. Done one and then made us erase it.
You don't think if somebody had said to him, this would be a great recruiting tool, that he would have seen the value in it?
Don't know. That's fun. I can only imagine.
I love the idea of Wayne Graham. Salty old Wayne Graham getting on TikTok. Lip-syncing Fleetwood Mac. First pitch is outside to Brendan Stressler. It's 1-0. Stressler 0 for 2 today. He flied to left his last trip. Michigan with a 3-0 lead in the 5th. Ladhoff, a good lead. Not going. The pitch misses outside. It's 2-0.
I don't know if you've ever seen the Instagram page of the coach, the Little League coach going in, and he's mic'd up and he says all of it. It's just a funny line.
Oh, gosh, to loosen up his players? That's so great.
That would have been Wayne Graham, but a little bit more
colorful.
Yes.
A 2-0. Down low, it's 3-0. My guess is that, I would have guessed that for Rick Vanderhook, the former coach at Fullerton. Hookie was an intense character.
Yes.
I would say.
But that's that generation. That's what you had. A lot of those coaches were extremely intense.
A 4-pitch walk, and Michigan has 2 aboard with 1 out. And you wonder, with walk number 5, if we're reaching the end of the road for Aiden Keenan in his first start of the year.
We were talking. We were saying the pitch is 80 through 100 to see what he had. Well, right now he is at 83. Walked 2 guys in a row. I don't know if their leash is going to be a whole lot longer. Again, he has the stuff to be able to get 1 pitch, 2 outs, and get out of this inning. But he's going to need to step up and be a different pitcher right now. We're going to get a little mound visit by the catcher. Generally, it's a good delay tactic, even though they don't need to delay. The pitcher's ready down in the bullpen. But this means there's probably going to be another meeting here in about a minute.
Thomas Eager is still at the bottom of the steps in the Stanford dugout. Now he's on the walkie-talkie. Pitching coach makes the pitching changes for Stanford. I think he's going to make the umpire walk all the way out there as Trevor Moore gets a few more throws in. David Buck's walking out, so is Thomas Eager, and we, I believe, are going to have a pitching change here as Moore continues to throw. And that is going to be it for Aiden Keenan. It was a really good first 2 innings for him. The command started to suffer. And now he's put 2 aboard with 1 out here in the 5th. Michigan batting leading 3-0. We'll tell you about the veteran right-hander Trevor Moore in a moment. It's the 2026 College Baseball Series in Surprise. 53rd career appearance at Stanford for Trevor Moore, the senior right-hander from Golden, Colorado, takes over. Inherits a first and second one-out jam with Stanford trailing 3-0. Last year, 16 appearances for the Cardinal, 28 appearances in 23-24. That is career high.
From Mullen High School, Centennial League. That was our rival at Cherry Creek High School. Stopper of the Year award watch list last year. The top 100 relievers in all college baseball as well.
He struggled at times last year. The first pitch fouled back by Colby Turner. They had a number of the relievers that they are counting on this year for Stanford. Had, I think, what you could graciously consider uneven seasons a year ago, and Moore was one of them. And this is part of why Stanford is so uncertain about what their pitching is going to look like. They have a lot of players with experience, but a number of them who really struggled over the course of the last couple of seasons. Keenan, 37 innings last year, 5.50 ERA. Ty Uber, another key guy, 35 innings, a 5.14 ERA. Sam Garwal's ERA was over 8 in his first year coming over from Northwestern. Torin O'Hara, an ERA over 7. Cassius Thomas's ERA was 10, although he might have some of the best stuff in the bullpen. And so you go through that and you start to understand that while they have guys that were counted on for a lot of innings, these are now juniors and seniors, most of them seniors, who just have not gotten the results yet. In the air to shallow right, coming in Marsh, and make the catch for out number 2, and the runners will hold. And so big first out for Moore. And here's Matt Ossenfort. 3-0 Michigan in the 5th.
Big first out indeed. You come into a tough situation, running first and second with 1 out. Get that first pop up. You got to have the count 0-2, and then getting the pop out to right field is huge. Huge as your confidence. I know you struggled last year, more struggled, and didn't have the type of year you wanted to have, just like you were talking about with a lot of those other Stanford relievers. That first out is a massive out. Now you get to relax. You're comfortable. You're more in tune with the game, and you have to get that third out.
Ossenfort hitless tonight, 2 groundouts to the right side against Keenan. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1.
Still looking for his first hit of the year. A couple of strikeouts so far.
The 0-1. Takes a strike. It's 0-2.
Good start for Moore so far. A lot of strikes, pumping the zone. This is a spot. You're throwing an 0-2 pitch. It has to be out of the zone. Get a swing and miss.
Lined into left center field, a base hit. A run will come home to score as the throw is cut off. It's 4-0 Michigan. Another 2-out base hit for the Wolverines.
That will kill you as a pitcher, as a defense, as a coach. 0-2, and it lays it right in the middle. You have to fight. There's no choice on that pitch. It cannot be a ball that the batter can get out for a strong base hit. Yes, mistakes happen. But 0-2, make that mistake down. Make that mistake above the zone. You can't have a line drive over shortstop with 0-2 count.
Ladahoff scores. Stressler stopped at second. And now here's Noah Miller, 0-2. 4-0 Michigan. All 4 runs scored with 2 outs. Moore set. First pitch. Miller takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Sometimes your problem is throwing too many strikes.
Man, we saw that earlier with Kling for Arizona this afternoon. Morgan State mounted a 5-run rally. He was in the strike zone a lot. He just had a few hittable 2-strike pitches. Pitch in the dirt. Count 1-1. It's going to be a tough one as a coach because the last thing you want to do is give up free bases, but The difference between control and command, right? Control is throwing strikes, and command is putting it where you want to. Missed high with that breaking ball. It's 2-1.
Sometimes throwing strikes is just as important as having strikeout stuff. Strikeout stuff is hard to command. It's hard to throw right where you want it all the time. But you need a combination of both. You can't just throw pump in the zone, or you will get hurt. You also can't be throwing strikeout stuff every single pitch, or you'll never throw enough strikes to matter.
I think what you find, and you coached in player development, right? The strike zone you have early in the count, you have more of the strike zone to work with, really. Just off the plate, and the count is full. And I realize that sounds counterintuitive, but it's like your guys aren't necessarily, they're looking to get into a good hitter's count so you can steal a strike with more of it, whereas they're getting a little bit more fine-tuned on places the deeper it goes in the count, even if they're behind in it. 3-2, the runners will be on the move with 2 outs. 4-0 Michigan in the dirt, and the bases are loaded. Miller walks, and that'll bring up Hager. Evan Hager already with 3 2-out RBI base hits. In the first 2 games of the season, he's got a chance to add another big one here.
You know, as the evaluator in running a pitching side for a major league team, you have to evaluate strike throwing, right? You have to evaluate that command, and so you have to come up with your metrics that you believe in, that you trust, make a difference. At the same time, that value you have to put on it, you also have to value swing and miss, right? So I don't want somebody that can go out there and throw strikes all day long, but then they get hit in strikeout counts. I also don't want somebody that's always throwing strike twos type of stuff. So you have to be able to find that mixture of value, and so that's one of the hardest part of player development is teaching both.
In the air to center, coming in and making the grab is hot, and the inning is over. Michigan gets a run, but they leave them loaded. We're halfway through this one. Michigan leading Stanford 4-0 on the 2026 College Baseball Series in. Dave Esker, the former All-American shortstop at Stanford, coaching at his alma mater in his 9th season. He just gathered his players in the dugout. Probably unhappy with the way they're controlling their at-bats on both sides, I would guess.
Without a doubt.
Can't too many walks, half a dozen walks for Stanford pitching after they walked one last night, and a lot of quick at-bats against Cade Montgomery, the starter for Michigan. He has thrown 43 pitches through the first 4 innings. And Brady Reynolds predictably takes a strike. It's 0-1.
43 pitches, 29 strikes, 4 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit, and the best number of all, no walks.
Reynolds has that hit, a single to start the second. He was erased on a double play. It's 1-1. It didn't seem like it was an animated pep talk. We could not see Esker, but judging from the reactions on the face, it was probably more like a, hey boys, let's remember what we're doing.
Focus a little bit, lock it in, and just remember every at-bat at a time. That's a lot of the times those conversations are, remember your at-bats, because you can't really talk to the pitchers already know. Like, you already talked to that pitcher, he has plenty of people in his ear. A lot of times it's the hitters you're talking to them about, controlling the at-bat, professional at-bats, going out there making a pitcher work when the pitcher is 40-some pitches in the 4th inning. Through 4 innings, you have to get him working more. You have to get a pitch count up, where his pitcher was already in mid-80s at this same point. So you have to switch that up somehow. And if you don't, it's going to be a very short night for Stanford.
Liner pass to diving Turner into right center field, and Reynolds is 2 for 2. Leadoff single for the DH. And
What
they'll
a
bring
pep
up
talk.
Rentaro. Yeah, it worked.
It works.
Rentaro coming to the plate for Reynolds. A good swing. Stayed behind the ball. Reynolds is a good hitter. He's aboard for Sasaki. 163 double play his last trip.
The jam shot right on the hands back to the pitcher. If I'm Montgomery, I'm going right back there again. I'm going on his hands. If I'm Sasaki, this first pitch, I'm swinging hard and opening up big time.
Takes a strike. It's 0-1.
That might have been the best pitch he's going to get this whole
Well,
at-bat.
I think the other part of it is like you're told, okay, let's work some at bats, and then you get a pitch in the strike zone, right? And it's like when you're struggling at the plate, right? You always feel like you're 0-2. The 0-1, swing and a miss. That was a really good changeup. He's thrown a couple of those in the last 2 innings. It's 0-2. The 0-2.
Oh,
Just wrist.
off the plate, but a pitcher's pitch. Sasaki, good eye. Very good eye on that.
Very, very close. It was either he's got a great eye or he was fooled.
Guys, stop giving hitters credit. They're always fooled.
1-2 called strike 3.
That is about 2 inches more over the plate. Very good at bat.
Just
By
the third,
Montgomery.
yeah, the third strikeout for Montgomery is he worked cutters and changeups and away from Sasaki. That was really interesting because I was with you. I thought overpowering him inside seemed to be the move, but he worked him to the other side of the plate, and now that's got to have him confused for his third at bat.
Yes, and that is pitching. That is exactly pitching. First at bat, inside. Second at bat, you pitch away. Now he doesn't know how you're going to pitch him from here on out.
J.J. Moran checks his swing. Did he go around? No swing on appeal, says Nathan White, the first base umpire. Moran struck out swinging in the second.
Montgomery needs a ground ball here to keep his perfect streak alive, to face the minimum. Is he going to get it?
He's given up 2 singles, both to Reynolds. He does not. It's actually a fly ball to the outfield. And Greg Pace runs it down for out number 2. That's the first put out recorded by someone in the outfield tonight.
That's incredible. You had mentioned he had a ground ball rate of what, 60?
60% last year, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely up a little bit today.
2 outs for Luke Lavin. Grounded to short his first trip. 4-0 Michigan, bottom 5. This time with a changeup, 1-0. Runner bluffs going, it's a strike. Count 1-1. Not sure what I understand why Reynolds would be bluffing in that situation. I wonder if it was a misunderstood sign. You're down 4-0 in the 5th. The last thing you want to do is run yourself into an out. 1-2.
Sometimes you just want to put pressure on the pitcher. Have him here in the middle of his delivery. Runner. Something that might just throw something off when a pitcher's in such a rhythm. You have to mix things up. You have to cause a little havoc. And when you haven't moved and you're not trying anything, makes it really easy as a pitcher.
Bounce to first and under the glove of Ossenfort. Turner will glove it and then throw it away. The The runner was colliding with Osborne. That's going to be an error on the first baseman, I would think. That's the first real miscue we've seen for Michigan defensively. As Osborne dropped a tough pop-up yesterday, but this was a pretty routine play.
Routine play, just took that bad bounce. Again, he had no reason charging that ball. He doesn't need to be charging it. Set your feet, be in a good position, let that ball come right to you at first base. When you get that funky bounce, you're trying to catch it right at the bounce, but you're first baseman. You can have your foot on the bag and that ball's basically in your glove. Just overthought it probably a little bit, trying to make too much of a play, and then Turner should not have thrown that ball to trying to get. They were safe at first base.
But now it's a chance to capitalize for Stanford, and Hott takes a ball low. It's 1-0. Ethan Hott looking for his first hit of the season. Speedy center fielder with a chance here to give Michigan a taste of their own medicine. They have all 4 runs scoring with 2 outs. A strike, and it's 1-1.
I'll tell you what, you can answer a lot of problems by just taking advantage of another team's mistakes. One hit right here, and you feel that momentum. You feel a little shift, a little energy. You change a lot of things with the hit.
1-2. But Montgomery is doing such a good job of controlling the count that he's got all the Stanford hitters defensive right now.
Yes. You can only work a bat so much when the pitcher is just pumping strikes.
Runners get their lead at first and second. The pitch. Tap foul at the plate.
Tell you what, if this was Oregon State crowd and that had happened, that Oregon State crowd would have been really loud on that play, wanting an out.
Well, they would have thought every pitch that Michigan threw was a ball, too. They've been partisan. On the ground, pass Dawson Ford down the right field line, a base hit. Stanford will get on the board. The runner goes to third. And an RBI 2-out single for Ethan Hott makes it a 4-1 game.
First hit of the season again for Hott. Right down the line past a diving first baseman. Again, take advantage of another team's errors, another team's mistakes. Should have been out of this inning. And now who cares? Who cares how you get the runs, how you get guys on base? Just score them.
Well, now you're one swing away from getting even, and here's Brock Sell, who grounded out his first time. But a 20-pitch inning for Montgomery. It's the first time he's really had to work. The error helping to open things up. First pitch to Sell. Misses away, and the changeup 1-0. Now, Sell looked like he saw that one really well. Or he was fooled. The pitch. A strike in the count 1-1.
Still pumping strikes, though.
Set. On the ground to second. Turner from shallow right will throw him out, and the inning is over. Stanford gets on the board thanks to the error and a 2-out single from Ethan Hott. We've played 5, Michigan 4, Stanford 1 here in the 2026 College Baseball Series. College baseball season gets underway this weekend. Stanford and Michigan, each with a win in the bank, playing tonight. It feels like the 1-0 game in a regional. The way things set up today. Greg Pace Jr.'s walked twice. Michigan has a 4-1 lead as we get ready to start the 6th. Trevor Moore starts the inning for Stanford and misses low, 1-0.
So did Arizona get knocked out?
I guess they went 2-2 in the regional, huh? It's going to be very difficult for Oregon State to come through the losers bracket, but if they're going to, it'll be because of their pitching upstairs. 2-0. These are, I mean, largely considered regional style tournaments, and there is a huge benefit to teams for participating in them. One, it gives you some quality competition. Pace takes a strike, it's 2-1. But for a team like Michigan in particular, the RPI games are not particularly great in the Big Ten. Pace grounds out as Sasaki just does hold the bag, 1 out. And so this early season, which sees them be a part of this, and then the Amagi Bay series in Arlington, playing top-notch, likely top 30 RPI schools, means that they've got a chance, if they can win some of those games on the neutral site, some of the road games they have at places like University of San Diego, which usually is one of the better RPI teams in the West, that it could put them in a better position for an at-large bid. And we talked to Tracy Smith a little bit yesterday about the Big Ten as Culbertson stands in. And last year, the teams that made the tournament outside of Nebraska who won the tourney were UCLA, Oregon, and USC, who were 3 of the 4 teams that joined the conference. And Washington, who was in a rebuilding year, had 17 wins in the 30-game conference slate, and that was not expected at all. And so we were talking a little bit to Tracy about that and what he thought, and he was like, I love it. I love that the competition is there. It feels like, I don't know if this is a rising tide lifts all ships, right? Is that what it feels like to you in the Big Ten with these quality programs coming in the hopes that you can be a consistent multi-bid league, which has not always been the case for that conference?
No, you have to love it, and you want to face better competition. It doesn't matter if you have a winning record, but you're not playing any. So yes, I 100% rising tide lifts all of them. Anybody in that conference can come up. It does hurt, though, a little bit. I think it actually hurts a UCLA, an Oregon, a USC more than it helps some of the other teams. And the fact that they're now playing a good number of games against lesser opponents than a lot of people would look at across the nation. So I do think it hurts some of those schools. But if you're Michigan, if you're middle of the tier there, if you're Michigan, if you're Penn State, if you're in Iowa, Indiana type of stuff, you want those teams in the conference, and you need them in the conference because there's only going to be 1 or 2, right? A conference champion and a tournament champion that might make the tournament. You need those teams if you're going to want to get better. And with the amount of money that has started to come into the Big Ten, and hopefully start at some point trickling down into the baseball teams, you can start bringing in more and better players, and they will play against you because now they're playing against better competition.
Braden Jeffries hits 2 outs. Michigan leads 4-1 in the 6th. And I think that's the hope, right? I think there's 2 things, right? They hope that the league and the schools as a whole commit better to baseball. It is not a money-making proposition for most schools because, especially in the North, because teams like Michigan are going to spend a lot of time on the road.
Yes.
Because, I mean, there were snow mounds on their field this last week, and we just started in the middle of February. But if the league is serious about it, it will raise the level of play. That's what's happened in the SEC. Everybody complains about the Southeastern Conference, but the SEC has invested heavily in baseball. That's why they are where they are. And I will say that the ACC has seen a growing interest in it, or seeming interest from administrators, which has grown that league as well. And now when you look at, there's still a gap in talent between the SEC and the ACC, but it's starting to close. Start looking at the top 40 draft picks from college, or potential draft picks from college, and it's split pretty evenly between the SEC and the ACC. Call it strike, and we count 2 and 2.
And high school kids see that.
Yeah.
You know, they see it. High school coaches see it. Everybody knows what's out there. You're following that very, very closely. You know, there was a generation where it was all West Coast, and now it's very SEC and ACC. And that's where it helps, like a school like Stanford being in that ACC and starting to see that competition, starting to get a part of that. And players want to be seen. They know they want to go where the scouts are going to be, where the best competition is, and it helps schools that are playing against that.
Well, and games are televised, right? And
Yes.
so, like, these tournaments, like the ones that Flow College does here and in Arlington, the other early season tournaments, the regular season games. It is a younger audience that streams, and so they're more interested in it. It's been a huge part of the college baseball infrastructure for the last decade. Jeffries towards the middle, going to be a tough play for Nati, and he won't get him. 2-out infield single for the leadoff man for Michigan.
Yeah, Nati did a great job getting to that ball. Had no throw, so you could see he held up that throw about halfway there and threw it straight into the ground.
Ladahoff will bat. Had a 2-run triple earlier, as you see exactly what David was talking about.
And one of the best walkout songs there is.
But I think the more the games are easily accessible on video, whether it's through a streaming service or on linear television, the more it's going to grow. And I think that's part of what you've seen with the Southeastern Conference, with the ACC. The Big 12 has grown, especially digitally. Big 10 needs to do some catching up, quite frankly. It is not as easy to find their games, or at least the quality ones, on their network, even though they have a network that is available in a lot of different places.
And one of the better networks that there is.
And the league is run by a former TV executive, Tony Petitti, who also worked for Major League Baseball. So there are some things that the Big Ten could do to help their own cause. And I think they will. I think it's just, nothing moves as fast as we would like it to. Ever.
Well, it's just a day and age where, especially in baseball, SEC sets the pace. SEC is going to, everyone is following the SEC, everyone sees what they're doing and then steps up behind them. But now that the Big Ten has some schools that are on the level with any SEC team in baseball, with UCLA, Oregon basically right in there, USC, where these are set, like pace-setting type of teams, they can maneuver themselves a little bit. They have a reason to be showing these games nationally and not just sit back and let football and basketball control that network. Show some of these games because people want to see UCLA play. People want to see Oregon, USC, and then that gives them an opportunity to showcase other schools like Penn State, Michigan, and Nebraska that might not normally be on TV.
1-1 the count to Ladahoff. The strike and the count 1-2. Michigan with a 4-1 lead over Stanford in the top of the 6th. Both of these teams won their opener yesterday against ranked teams. Michigan winning the season opener against a ranked team for the second year in a row. Last year they beat then number 2 Virginia. Yesterday was number 12 Oregon State. The 1-2 way outside. Overcooked a breaking ball. 2-2 to Ladahoff. Things have really slowed down with Moore on the mound. 2-2. Runner goes, pitches a ball. The throw down to second. In time to get him. Jeffries gunned down by Lavin, and the inning is over. Jeffries slow to get up. Perfect throw from Luke Lavin to end the top of the 6th. It's 4-1 Michigan. Tomorrow afternoon, Oregon State will take on Stanford, and then tomorrow evening, Arizona and Michigan will meet. And then Monday afternoon, as Tatum Marsh grounds to short and Drew Culbertson throws him out to start the 6th. Monday afternoon, we'll have the finale of this as Michigan and Oregon State will meet for a second time. Another ground ball out for Cade Montgomery. Had just had a 20-plus pitch inning. That's the only time that he's really been in trouble at all, David. He has been in control. A lot of routine ground balls for the Michigan infielders.
A lot of routine ground balls are not having to move a whole lot. Last inning, he did have a couple ground balls that were hard down the line and hard second base. But in general, a lot of nice, easy ground balls for their infielders. That is the 5th ground ball to the shortstop, Culberson. And each of those have been pretty easy plays. Nothing too hard for him. But he is a ground ball machine. Even last inning, those balls, the one down the line, ground ball to second base, ground ball past the second baseman, still ground balls. It is creating action, and you have to love that if you're a defender.
Well, their positioning's been great. You saw the shift there. They have been aggressive in the way they've overshifted, but that's helped to lead to a lot of it. And most of it has been with the shortstop Culbertson being in the right spot. In fact, Culbertson took away a base hit in a shift earlier today on a line drive when Bates was up.
It was Bates, and he was in the exact same spot that he is right now. Guarantee you he's ready for it.
Montgomery hasn't walked anybody today, but he's fallen behind 3-1 to Charlie Bates. The pitch on the ground to the left side and through. Bates not trying to do too much, and Stanford has their 4th safety of the game.
Great job of hitting by Bates. Again, we're talking about the shift the whole time. He hit that line drive basically up the middle in his first at bat. That one didn't try too hard and just got it through basically the shortstop hole.
Jimmy Nati bats. There's starting to be some tossing in the Michigan pen. Montgomery at 72 pitches with 1 out in the 6th. Nati's grounded to short, struck out swinging. First pitch, a strike, it's 0-1. See a lefty beginning to get loose for Michigan. That is Wyatt Navarro, Jr. The pitch. That one misses, and the count 1-1. Nati, as we mentioned, the leader of this team. Former rugby player. And he takes a high strike. And the count 1-2. Nati didn't really start playing baseball when he was growing up in Australia. He moved to Atlanta for a while, his family, in 2010, and started playing there. And then Australia is a good baseball playing country, but he was a multi-sport athlete. I went upstairs to it too. Played rugby, basketball, did track, and also played touch football. Apparently touch football.
Is that rugby?
No, that would be rugby light.
Yes, very light.
Touch football is played in Australia. Swing and a miss. Nati down on strikes, 2 outs. Just the 4th strikeout for Montgomery, but he's been in control all night, and with 2 outs, he'll face Brady Reynolds.
This is the guy you have to be careful with if you're Montgomery. You don't want to let him hurt you. 2 hits tonight already, 2 base hits, 1 to right, 1 to left. You can't let him hurt you, so you have to be careful. You also don't want to get to Sasaki by any means with a couple guys on base and that power.
Reynolds is 3 for 3 as he dumps that one into right field. It'll send Bates around to third, and it'll bring Sasaki up with that power as the tying run.
Like you said, he's the guy in the lineup you have to be careful with. He's having a night already off of Montgomery, and he put one right in there, and he hammered it to right center.
Dave Esker is going to use an offensive timeout, one of the 3 the coaches are allowed. He's not meeting with the base runners, they're meeting with Sasaki.
It's interesting. Why wouldn't you pull the base runners here, right?
I think this is an approach conversation.
I still want to, even if it's an approach, I want to pull my base runners in because I want Michigan to have to think. I don't want Tracy Smith to know what I'm doing right now. If I'm Tracy Smith, I'm assuming like they're not even going to talk to the runner on third base. They're not necessarily. They're probably going to talk a little bit to the runner at first base. But I want them to think anything is possible.
Well, both the coaches went back there, Steve Rodriguez at third and Ryan Kirby at first. But I wonder if some of that was, hey, they came in a bunch first time, they went away a bunch. Sit on a pitch and try and drive it here. First pitch. Checks and takes a strike. And you can hear the Stanford fans not happy, and neither was Sasaki. That looked high, but it's 0-1. 0-2. Change up that time.
Just under the zone. Fastball up and away, change up under the zone. You can almost do anything you want right here.
Man, that was a vicious hack by Sasaki. He was looking to turn it loose. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. 94, the best bolt in a couple innings for Montgomery. And Stanford leaves them at the corners. Strikeout number 5 puts away the big man. We head to the 7th. Michigan leading. It's been a great weekend so far at the College Baseball Series in Surprise, Arizona. The Shriners Children's College Showdown going on in Arlington. You can also catch that on Floor College. There's some of what else is available to you on the Floor Sports Networks, including the next 2 weekends. The Amity Bay College Baseball Series. Those are always great ones, very similar to the Shriners. It's 6 teams there, 3 games a day in the climate-controlled beauty of the ballpark in Arlington, Texas, home of the Texas Rangers, Globe Life. A perfect start to the season. Liam Golden is on, the 6'5" sophomore from Sacramento. Takes over, made half a dozen appearances last year. Had an ERA of 8, but he is going to take over here for Trevor Moore and try and keep this a 4-1 deficit. Cade Lanahoff had a big 2-run triple to give Michigan the lead in the 3rd bats. He was at the plate when Braden Jeffries was gunned down trying to steal second, end of the 6th, then he gets plugged right between the numbers.
Coaches at Michigan having the jump, but he was not happy and threw that bat into the dugout. Wears it in the shoulder and then fires that bat. There it is. Perfect spot though, right to the bat boy sitting at the inside of the dugout.
And leadoff man aboard for Stressler. First pitch misses, it's 1-0.
Golden last year, we've already talked about, 8 ERA, 8 base on balls, 9 strikeouts, so he does have some strikeout stuff, but some control issues, 94-mile-an-hour fastball there, so he has all the pieces to be successful sophomore year. It's time to put it together a little bit.
The 2-0, it's 3-0. Stressler ahead in the count. A homer yesterday. Stressler 0 for 2 today with a walk. The pitch. And he takes ball 4, and the first 2 have reached for Michigan in the 7th. Well, now they're set up for a very big inning, leading 4-1, and here's Colby Turner. conference on the mound to talk to the sophomore. 5 pitches, none of them have been in the strike zone. A hit batter and a 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, not how you want to start out your season. But again, we talk about nerves. Nerves apply to everybody. You know, now the hitters have all had a couple of at-bats under the belt, a couple games under the belt. A lot of these pitchers still coming in. They're still their first game of the season. They're still nervous, and they have all the feelings as a starting pitcher would have. They have to calm down, have to find that he has good stuff, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, but slow the game down, calm down, treat it like you're throwing a bullpen, just throwing it through your catcher, and let the rest handle itself.
Left-hander getting loose on the Stanford pen. I believe it's Andrew Shaw, the freshman left-hander, who's beginning to toss. Colby Turner bats now that the conference is over. 4-1 Michigan. Sasaki playing in at first. Third baseman Moran coming in as well. And a pickoff throw to second, and nearly an errant one. Matt, I had to go get that. Golden going to have to slow the game down, and Thomas Eager did not like what he saw, I don't think, on that pickoff throw.
No, he didn't.
And that is a walk with purpose out to the mound for the Stanford pitching coach.
Might have been a well-timed pickoff throw, though, to give your pitcher a little bit more chance. Oh, he is right on him.
He is letting him have it a little bit. Shaw is standing in the doorway, and they are going to make a pitching change here. So the pickoff throw ends up chasing Golden, who faces 2 batters. He hits one, and he walks one. And a new pitcher coming into the game for Stanford. Michigan trying to bust things open. They lead 4-1 in the top of the 7th. I'll tell you about the new Stanford lefty in a moment. It's the College Baseball Series from Surprise. Canton, Georgia's left-hander Andrew Shaw, the freshman, making his collegiate debut tonight. 6'3", 201-pound lefty who punched out 75 hitters in 50 innings as a senior in high school. Inherits a first and second nobody out mess with Michigan leading 4-1. Well, the freshmen were great out of the pen yesterday for Stanford. Can Shaw match what Colt Peterson started? Turner squares the bunt and takes low, 1-0. Cole Peterson and Mike Erspammer combined for 3 2/3 scoreless innings, both as freshmen yesterday. Turner bunts it foul. We'll count 1-1.
I don't think I've ever seen a hitter hold the bat so far up the barrel on a bunt attempt. His hand is middle barrel, fully around it. Usually you want to be a little bit further down the barrel, save your fingers. But what do I know? I'm not a bunter.
Infield pinched in at the corners. Turner squaring early and bunts it foul. It's 1-2.
Exactly like what you want. If you're a freshman pitcher coming in, the guy's going to bunt, fouls a couple off, gives you a chance to get an out without advancing runners. You can't let him, you do not want him to hit the ball right here. Try to throw a ball, again, below his bat or above his bat.
Turner behind in the count now 1-2. You would have to think that they take the bunt off. Runners get their lead at first and second. Sasaki's still creeping in. Turner not bunting, and he takes low.
Turner did a good job, though. 2 times he moved his hand on the bat while he was in the stretch, and he moved it, so Sasaki saw that, stayed in. You have to trust the hitter a little bit and then react to something else.
Sasaki backing up now. The pitch, swing and a miss. Got him on a breaking ball.
Ooh.
Turner down on strikes for out number 1.
Good change of speed, breaking ball. It almost looked like a changeup that slid across the plate. It's obviously a slider, but there was a huge kind of change of speed. And you see his swing. He's reading fastball, and then you see how he kind of slowed everything down. That's what changeups look like, but it was a slider.
Yeah, his fastball was 87, 88. That was about 80 miles an hour. 1 out. And Carson Luna, the freshman's going to come off the bench to hit for Ossenfort. Carson Luna, the redshirt freshman, will hit in this spot with the lefty on the mound. 4-1 Michigan, and he hits it on the ground past the diving Bates into center field for a base hit. Lanahoff will score. Luna, a pinch single. It's 5-1 Wolverines.
How about that? Pinch hitting the freshman. Ossenfort had a base hit in the 5th, but you're trusting the freshman versus freshman matchup, and he comes through right out of the gate.
The first collegiate at bat for the transfer from Texas. And he extends Michigan's lead to 5-1. And here's Noah Miller. 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, now 1 in the 7th for Michigan. And what they haven't had is the knockout blow yet. But here's Miller. First pitch to the catcher. Takes a strike, it's 0-1. Miller a year ago just hit a pair of home runs. And he fouls it down the right field line and out of play. The count 0-2.
If you're Shaw, you still want to get, if you can get a ground ball, it's still a successful inning for you. You're going to give up a run 90% of the time with a runner on first and second and no outs in that type of situation. Coming in, just keep throwing strikes right now. Try to get a strikeout, but if you get a ground ball, you have one pitch to get out of this.
Swing and a miss. That's his changeup. Turned it over. That's out number 2. Pretty good pitch.
Good pitch, 77 miles an hour, fading away from Miller and dropped out of the zone at the last second. Good pitch. He's throwing a lot of strikes.
A pair of strikeouts for the freshman left-hander, and here's Evan Hager. Hager singled home a run in the 4th. He's knocked in 5 runs in 2 games, all with 2 outs. He's 1 for 3 today. Another chance for him to tally a 2-out run. A strike, it's 0-1. Tell you what, the freshmen have been the most composed of anybody out of the Stanford pen the first 2 games.
Absolutely, you have to say that without a doubt. These guys, 2 guys at the end of the game last night, and now you're seeing Shaw here, controlled, under composure. Yes, gave up a hit, but making pitches.
1-1. Boy, that would be a huge development for Stanford if they can get these freshmen. You wonder if that lights a fire under some of the upperclassmen and say, hey, listen, we've got to pitch better to keep our roles. Foul back. It's 1-2.
So there, hung a slider, kept that ball a little up and in on Hager. I like doubling up a slider right here. You threw a bad one, he was kind of on it, just a little below it, but on it. Now you come back with the good one. You know what you did on that one to hang it. Now I finish it, especially with lefty on lefty. He steps right at the left-handed batter. I throw a slider down away, get the strikeout.
Swing and a miss.
Or pump it, Hager.
Don't Hager down on strikes. Shaw strikes out the side. He gives up a run, but it's time to stretch, and he's kept Stanford in the game. Heading to the bottom of the seventh. 5-1 Michigan. Bottom of the seventh inning. It's 5-1 Michigan. Carson Luna had the big pinch hit, base hit. Will stay in the game at first base. Replacing Ossenfort and Cade Montgomery, you see there, getting ready to start the seventh inning tonight. He has been very efficient. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. 5 strikeouts. I'm going to do the counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ground ball outs of the 18 that he's recorded. So either, what is that? 16 of the 18 outs have been on the ground.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're into that sort of thing.
He's got a line out to short. I guess it's still technically it's 10 of the 15. There's another chance. Culbertson bobbles for a second and still throws him out. 1 out. There's another ground ball out to start the seventh inning. He got a double play in the second. He's had a line out to short on a nice play by Drew Culbertson, who's had a lot of nice plays tonight, as you see the Michigan shortstop. And 1 put out to the outfield. And that was Moran the last time he hit, flew out to Greg Pace Jr. So this has been complete domination.
I had a line out to second base as well, to Bates.
No, Bates lined out to short.
Oh,
yeah,
Bates.
It's the shortstop was over in the shift.
I guess that counts.
It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to be keeping records off your scoreboard.
That's a good call. That's a very good decision. It looks nice. Looks nice.
I didn't put the line going to the right side for it.
Yeah, I don't even know how you read yours.
But I don't know how I read mine either.
But I can't read mine, and it looks good.
Outside, 2-0. Everybody's scorebook is like a different dialect of the same language.
Cade Montgomery's done great so far. We talk about the ground balls, but again, pumping strikes, 84 total pitches, 57 strikes. You're looking at around a 66% strike rate. That is wonderful. That is exactly what you want. Five punch out like we talked about. Just controlling the game. And you know what has kept a good pace? Not too slow, not too fast. And keeping the Stanford hitters off their game all night.
Max DeBick getting loose in the bullpen, and that's the first free pass issued tonight by Montgomery. He comes with 1 out in the 7th. And a bat from Luke Lavin.
Yeah, good at bat by him, not giving in. Again, I know, SQ was talking to his team a couple innings ago, trying to rally them a little bit. This might be it. This might be the beginning of that.
89 pitches on the night for Montgomery, and Tracy Smith is going to make the call to the bullpen. Well, a fine Michigan debut for Cade Montgomery. The transfer from Utah Tech was in control of this game from the get-go. He's got Michigan in line to go 2-0. They'll need the bullpen to cover 8 more outs tonight as they lead Stanford 5-1 here in Surprise. Max DeBeck, the 6'7" right-hander from Seattle, is on. The senior taking over with a man at first and one out in the seventh. What a job by Cade Montgomery tonight in his first start for the Wolverines.
What a job. Ended the ninth, 6 1/3 innings. Pitched 5 hits, no earned runs, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, a ton of strikes. Controlled the game, every single facet of it. Ended with a walk, so we got a runner on first base to the new pitcher.
DeBeck started his college career at Washington as a position player.
6'7", what are you doing? What position are you playing? Like center?
He was 1 for 3 that year. Went to A&M as a transfer, did not play. Then went to Folsom Lake College, junior college, where he was a first-team All-American as a two-way player. And then last year was outstanding in 19 games for the Wolverines, a sub-3 ERA. He faces the senior Ethan Hott, and the big righty, all arms and legs. It's chick swing, ball 1.
Wonderful job last year, 28 innings pitched, like you said, a 2.57 ERA, 20 strikeouts. The only number that kind of pops off is 21 walks in those 28 innings. Wanting to shorten that up, a little less walks out there. If he does that, he'll be a big part of this Michigan bullpen.
That's a called strike on the corner, and there is screaming from the Stanford bench after that. It's 1-1.
They couldn't even see it. No, it looked a little bit off the plate to me, too.
The pitch. Tried to check, and he did again. They count 2-1. DeBeck set the pitch. Strike. 2-2.
93 miles per hour.
And now you're getting a warning for the Stanford bench. David Buck pulling out his card, and that's an official warning. That's a knock it off. Thomas Eager, the pitching coach for Stanford, has been screaming the loudest. He has his arms folded on the top step, just staring daggers at David Buck. You can see him there in the foreground. 2-2 the count. Fouled away. We talked a lot about guys the last 2 days that have higher release points. He uses a 6'7" frame over the top.
Yes, he is using all of that 6'7" frame.
See how Thomas Eager is not happy.
That is a purposeful stare, and he has not broken it yet.
2-2. Bouncer to third and foul. That's the pitching coach. I believe that he is probably most upset that his guys have not gotten the same calls.
I'll be honest, from this angle, I think the umpires have been pretty good. They've been on the calls all night. I didn't see too many calls that have been questionable.
I would say that both umpires today in both games have called high strikes. Swing and a miss. DeBeck with a strikeout, 2 outs. They've called pitches that were in that spot that Hott swung at, and maybe just a little bit above. They have consistently called that pitch strikes. Now, if you're going to do it consistently, that's all you can ask for.
Yes, and that's the thing. If it's going to be consistent, that's exactly what you want. You know the zone. You know that. They send it down to the bullpen. They let them know, hey, he's calling up strikes, or you should be watching, and you can see what an umpire zone looks like.
But the misses have not been egregious very often. Really, in the first 2 days of this tournament, I would say. First pitch upstairs, it's 1-0 to Sell.
Yes, there have been very few misses at all where I thought, man, that's changing the game a little bit, one way or the other. I thought it's been a very good zone, even, the very worst, even to both teams, even to all teams.
Roxell's 0 for 2. Foul tips it into the glove of the catcher Miller. It's 1-1. talented freshman trying to keep a rally going here for Stanford, down 4 in the 7th. Called strike. And it's 1-2. And that's the pitch that has consistently been called. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sell. Runner goes from first and a chopper to first and foul.
Yeah, that up and away part of the zone. A little bit up, just a little bit off. That's been called, but it's been consistent, giving both teams that pitch too.
Well, and we have access to the StatCast data, which is the major league strike zone. There's a little bit more grace given in college, even with the complaints that in the SEC and the ACC that umpires are being evaluated with TrackMan and that the zone has gotten tighter. It's not quite the same as the big league zone. Luna playing behind the runner at first, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Sell down on strikes. DeBeck with a pair of strikeouts. And Stanford leaves a man into 7th. On to the 8th. Michigan leads 5-1. Max DeBeck getting a big strikeout to end the inning. Here on Flow College. And Shaw continues for Stanford. First pitch misses to Greg Pace Jr. It's 1-0. Pace a couple of walks, runs scored tonight. Lefty freshman Shaw gets a grounder to left side, backhanded by Bates, throws on the run, and Pace beats it out. Pace just flat beat the throw, using his speed for an infield hit.
He was down that line fast. Great job by the shortstop on getting to the ball, getting rid of it. But man, you are not gonna beat him. Close play, but safe.
Like Rentaro did everything he could to try and get that on the scoop. But Pace beats it out, so the leadoff man aboard, and here's Drew Culbertson. 5-1 Michigan in the 8th. Culbertson squares the bunt, pulls back, and takes the ball.
Culbertson, while killing it defensively, still looking for his first hit. 3 strikeouts tonight. Showed bunt on that first one, but trying to maybe get an extra insurance run.
Well, Culbertson's calling card is going to be his defense. He pushes the bunt foul. 1-1. Again, don't mind the idea of the push bunt there, but you're not going to want to try and push it up the line at the first baseman. You want to push that towards the second baseman, right? Get it past the mound, try and bunt for a hit.
Yes, he's pushing it a little bit too close to Sasaki, who's coming down that line. We can make that play, get the runner out at second base. Got to make it a tweener, that in-between spot, the pitcher first and second base. And you might even be able to beat it out.
You may not even need to get it past the mound for that to happen. With the lefty falling off to the third base side, he bunts it foul again, first base side. And it's 1-2. Michigan has not been successful at getting sacrifices down today. They're looking for that insurance run here with the number 9 hitter at the plate, leading 5-1 in the 8th. Shaw with a step off. His first disengagement. There's a difference in college between disengaging, you're allowed 2 of those, and throwing over to first, which are unlimited. Pace not going, swing and a miss. Culbertson down on strikes, 1 out.
Back foot slider. Great pitch by Shaw, who has been nothing but pumping strikes this whole time since coming in the ball game.
Culbertson takes the golden sombrero, his 4th punch out of the night, 4th strikeout for Shaw. At the top of the order with Braden Jeffries.
Look, if he plays defense the way he has been playing, nobody cares if he strikes out every single time at the plate. He is Johnny all over the field, and you will not mind whatever he hits.
I mean, he might mind.
He might not. He might not like that, but at the same time, it's okay. If if he's doing what he's been doing, he is helping well beyond getting some hits at the plate.
Go to first and pace back standing.
What it really does is just makes nights like tonight, where it's 4 strikeouts, a lot easier to handle. As a coach and as a player, you can have conversation with them saying, hey, look at it this way. You are doing everything you can to be a teammate, to help out your pitchers, and you're going above and beyond. Yes, you don't like that you're striking out 4 times. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to go to bed knowing they struck out 4 times. But your job in this type of game isn't necessarily to have those hits. It's playing defense. So you're doing everything you can do to help your team out, help them win, and it's working.
They've got pace picked off. Sasaki's throw in time to get him. Pace wants them to challenge in the Michigan dugout, and I think Tracy Smith is going to listen to his senior center fielder who thought he beat the rap.
Yes. Tag got up on his belly, and you'll see it right here as it comes down. Ball beats him, but the tag gets up high.
His hand came off the base. I couldn't tell for sure, but it looked like Bates may have still had the glove on him. We are going to get our first replay review of this game. So the umpires will head underneath.
It's a tough one to see. I think, again, we're going to be seeing multiple different angles at this. The ball beat him. He beat the tag. And that's when it always gets really interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if there's enough evidence to overturn it.
We did see a call overturned last night. That was on the Roman Myers home run that then wasn't, and then was again.
And if I'm Tracy, I'm definitely taking my chance at this. Tracy Smith, the head coach of Michigan Wolverines, I'm taking my shot at this. You have a 5-1 lead. You're in the top of the 8th. You're in a great spot to take a shot because, you know what, if he's safe, that definitely changes things for you and changes things for your offense. And if he's out, no big deal. You don't really lose a whole lot here. Take a shot at it, and maybe you can get an extra run out of it.
We just got the attendance for today's event, nearly 6,300, 6,294 to be exact. That is a new record, breaking the day-old record set yesterday. More than 600 more fans today. And it certainly felt like that. Remember, these venues in spring training seat about 10,000. And so this was a really big crowd for most of the afternoon with Oregon State playing Arizona. And a record crowd here for Surprise, more than 6,000. So we've had, close to 12,000 people on opening weekend. That's pretty incredible. It speaks to the growth of college baseball and how much more accessible it's become and how much more people are understanding how great these tournaments are. And kudos to the Oregon State fans for coming down and being a huge part of this.
Huge part of it. You know, they're driving a lot of this and filling up the ballpark. They've been getting the nice day games in the sun, too, so that's not the worst to come out. But you know what? Even Michigan and Stanford have traveled well and brought people out. So you got to give all the teams credit. Can't just give it to Oregon State. But, man, they fill this ballpark up every single game.
And this is, it has been really remarkable watching the crowds grow and grow and grow over the years we've been involved in this event. And, again, it speaks to how good a place college baseball is in. We're about to get word from our umpires. Steve Mattingly says he is out. So the call stands. Greg Pace picked off. Get one more look at it here, David.
He is fast. I think, again, that tag gets up a little high, which is what makes it really interesting. Comes off the bag, could be out there, could be out when he comes off the bag. But you know what? They took their time to evaluate it. Got the out call.
And now the count 0-2 on Jeffries, who fouls that one away. 5-1 Michigan. They bat in the top of the 8th. Back through the middle, and a base hit for Jeffries. Seeing eye ground ball. He's on base for a third time tonight. And he'll bring up Ladinoff.
You know, we got to give some credit there where credit's due. We didn't even speak about him. Lavin with that throw down to second base, throwing a couple guys out tonight. Great arm. Here's the thing. Pace was running fast. He was moving down to second base. Lavin got the out call on that throw. He has looked very, very good with that arm.
Ladinoff has been on base 3 times, including a 2-run triple that gave Michigan the lead in the third. They've tacked on 3 runs since then. "5-1 Wolverines in the 8th. The pitch in the dirt. 1-0. Shaw's given up a couple of hits. 3 to be exact since coming into the game. But mostly he's throwing strikes. And I'm way out in front on that one. Count 1-1. That was a good changeup. It's not like that changeup was all that far off his fastball velocity. I mean, he's only in the high 80s, but boy, good arm movement, good motion on it.
Good motion, good arm movement. It is like, when you call it changeup, this is like the definition of a changeup. It looks like you're halfway to the plate and a string gets pulled on it. It's hard to stay on it. 3 hits, but each one of them have been ground balls. Again, we saw the seeing eye ground ball right up the middle. They have not been getting really good contact on his pitches. Pitching very well. You can give up as many hits as you want if you're not really giving up damage and you're punching tickets. And no walks.
Another throw over to first. And Shaw's starting to hear it from folks who would like a little more action.
Boo. I always like the crowd overreacting, like, hey, he might run. Give me a break.
Another pickoff throw, and Shaw now defiant towards this crowd.
It's good.
Yeah,
I want to
he's
see
got a
3 more
smile
picks.
on his face, too.
In all reality, he's
Let's
probably
go.
not running. Like, the way Lavin's been throwing, I can't imagine he's running. And if he does, who cares? Oh,
And
yeah,
got picked off
goes.
again. He picks off a pair in the inning. Excellent work by Shaw. And he's fired up coming off the field. 4 strikeouts and a pair of pickoffs for the freshman lefty as he heads the inning through 7.5. Michigan leads Stanford 5-1. As they want the game at noon Mountain Time tomorrow. That's 11 a.m. Pacific here on Flow College. Next to back, got the last 2 outs in the last inning. Starts Tatum Marsh with a strike. He'll face the top of the Stanford order. Michigan leading 5-1 in the last of the 8th. The pitch.
Whoa.
That went a little bit in front of the plate.
Could only imagine the vertical approach angle on that pitch. 8, probably.
Yeah, a little bit different. It was 9.5.
Wow.
Marsh rifles one down the left field line and down for a base hit. Over to cut it off is Stressler. Tatum Marsh with a leadoff double in the Stanford 8th.
First hit of the night for Marsh. It's what you want if you're Stanford. Get some guys going. Get some guys on base. We haven't seen a whole lot of power out of Stanford, so that's good for them.
You know, the way this game has gone and the way Cade Montgomery dominated, it feels like it's 15-1 and not 5-1. But here's the thing, is that Stanford is still within slam range.
Oh, without a doubt.
And you get another base hit here, and all of a sudden you start getting a little nervous if you're Michigan. As DeBeck misses to Bates, 1-0. Now, they've had a couple of chances with men on to tie the game and haven't been able to come up with a big hit. But boy, if Bates were to reach and someone behind him like Nadai or Reynolds were to pop one, and Reynolds has had a good night at the plate, it's a different game. That one back towards the middle, and Culbertson is right there. Johnny on the spot again as he throws out Bates for out number 1.
Another great job by that staff, positioning, getting him in that perfect position for baseballs to just find his glove. That ball could not have been more perfect, right? Adam does get the runner over, but like you said, there are guys in this lineup that can cause problems and hit balls very, very, very far. One guy on base can get something started, and they're still not, it feels like it's a 15-run lead, but it's only a 4-run lead, right? You eat away a couple right here, and you have a chance in the 9th.
Jimmy Nadai bats, first pitch. The second baseman bounced in front of the plate. It's 1-0. And this is one of those spots where, if you're Michigan, you're more than happy to concede the run for the out. Because right now you're counting outs. You need to get 5 outs before Stanford can score 4 runs to tie it.
And that's sometimes where you have to let the pitcher know that too. Let him know, hey, like, just make your pitches. Be okay with giving up a run here. Hey, he had a double. He's on third base. You're not trying to make two-strike pitches when you're behind count. Just throw your bat, because sometimes you can press so hard trying to make sure he doesn't score. It's a 5-run ball game, 5-1 ball game, 4-run lead. You don't really care about that runner at third base.
1-1 the count. That I ruled to have gone around on that pitch. That went in the dirt. Count now 2-1. Pitch upstairs. Now it's 3-1 to Nadai. And the last thing you want if you're DeBeck is to walk him. Three and 1 the count.
And if I'm Stanford, I want to get Reynolds to the plate with as many men on base as possible.
Big pitch here. Nadai takes a strike. It's 3-2.
Going with off-speed pitch, 3-1. It's a lot of trust in your pitches.
Pair of seniors. Going at it here. 3-2 the count. Marsh down the line at third. The pitch. Called strike 3. Bottom of the zone for out number 2.
Third strikeout of the night for Nadai. And I don't know if there's much of a bigger strikeout for DeBeck right there. Perfect. Absolutely perfect pitch. Too close to take if you're Nadai.
Third strikeout for DeBeck as well. And here's Brady Reynolds. 5-1. Michigan in the 8th. Reynolds, great night at the plate. 3 for 3 with a run scored. He scored the only Stanford tally back in the 5th. That one high. It's 1-0.
Miller getting a lot of work back behind the plate. The last couple of bats. Ball's down in the dirt. Ball way over your head. Stopping all of them.
Misses low. 2-0.
Good slider.
Stanford needs base runners and a big hit. The pitch. Rip foul pass first. Reynolds is making a bid for extra bases. It's 2-1.
All over that fastball. He was looking dead red the whole way. You were not going to beat him with a fastball on that count. It's how you swing, though. 2-0. You get the green light. You get the pitch you want. That's how you're supposed to swing.
2-2. And now Trebek 1 out away from getting Michigan to the ninth with a 4-run lead. Fouled at the plate. Boy, Reynolds just did get a piece of it to stay alive.
Just got a piece of it. Hey, that's all you need, though.
Just getting one more pitch. Trying to mount a comeback for Stanford. They came back last night against Arizona. Can they do it again? They're down to their final 4 outs. In the dirt, it gets away from Miller, and the run will come home and score. Well, finally, after bouncing a couple, Miller couldn't stop it. He'd done yeoman's work in the last couple of batters. Marsh scores on the wild pitch, and it's a 3-run game.
There's absolutely nothing you can do there. Miller did as much as he can. As you can see, that ball almost didn't even make it in the frame when it hit the ground. Tried to get his chest on that ball. And when it's bouncing like that, you don't know which angle it's going to take, and it just bounced off to his left towards that dugout.
Reynolds skies one in the air to right center. Hager will give way to the center fielder Pace, who makes the catch, and the inning is over. Stanford gets a run, though. We head to the ninth with Michigan leading Stanford 5-2 in the College Baseball Series in Surprise. Cade Lanahoff will lead off the ninth for Michigan. The Wolverines 3 outs away from going to 2-0 on the season, and 2-0 here in Surprise, Arizona, as they lead Stanford 5-2. It'll be Lanahoff, and then Stressler and Turner, the scheduled hitters, against the lefty. Andrew Shaw has done a nice job out of the Stanford pen. First pitch inside, it's 1-0.
Almost got hit again. Hit by pitch, a walk, triple, ground ball to second. He was trying to get a lot of different things in there today.
Outside, 2-0. You mentioned the triple. That 2-run triple in the third inning gave Michigan the lead. They have never trailed in this game. They led 4-0 and 5-1. Those were their biggest leads. They have a 3-run lead as we start the ninth. And Lanahoff ahead 3-0.
2 balls, I believe, was the most Shaw has thrown to any hitter tonight, let alone 3. No walks, 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts. Done a wonderful job on the mound, but now getting behind.
A high strike, it's 3-1. There's a right-hander tossing in the Stanford pen, or at least standing on the mound. And Shaw watched the leadoff man here in the ninth. The kid's really done a very nice job for Stanford.
Another freshman just pitching so well for Stanford. That's what they've done so great. With Peterson running out yesterday, Earthbomber looked wonderful, and again, Shaw has done great. No matter what else happens after this point, Shaw has done a wonderful job.
Yeah, pinch runner for Lanahoff. Josh Campbell, who appeared as a pinch runner yesterday, the freshman outfielder. Brendan Stressler hits. He is 1 for 4 tonight. Campbell with a healthy lead. Stressler bunts and bunts it foul. That is 5 bunt attempts by Michigan hitters, and they have all gone foul.
Get a bunt down, guys.
And he squares early and gets that one down, and it rolls foul.
Too good of a bunt. You know, when you're trying to sacrifice somebody over, you can't be trying to get base hit style bunts. Who cares if it's down the line? Perfect. Just get the bunt down. Also, when the third baseman's so far in and the first baseman's holding back a little bit, try and get that ball a little bit to the right. Don't give it to this third baseman because that might be fast enough to be able to get the out at second base. He might be too close.
Stressler takes low. Count 1-2. He's been on base 3 times tonight. Excuse me, 2 times tonight.
Think Tracy
Walked
Smith
a couple times.
Think Coach Smith is going to have them doing PFPs or bunting
He
practice?
might, but he may not need him to bunt if he's going to plug the gap like that. Stressler's going to knock home Campbell. It's an RBI double, and Michigan gets the run back. They lead 6-2. Maybe the lesson is just let that dude hit.
Best way to
Homer and a
bunt.
double in the first 2 games for Stressler.
Right? The best way to bunt is hit a double in the gap. That moves him over, it gets the job done. Can't bunt, man. Go hit the Irish sign.
There's Colby Turner. He struck out after being unable to get a bunt down his last trip. Lavin's going out to the mound, and I think we are going to have a pitching change here coming up.
Like I said, doesn't matter what happened this inning. Shaw has done a wonderful job. You know what you have out of your freshman. You know he can pitch in big moments and give you opportunities to win. He has looked very good.
Thomas Eagers coming out of the dugout. As the right-hander continues to toss in the Stanford pen. He's going to come take the ball from the left-hander. Andrew Shaw really did a nice job. Starting his 3rd inning of work. Seems to be some pretty encouraging words from Thomas Eager on his way off the mound. And a pat on the back as we have a pitching change. Michigan has a man at second and run home. Nobody out in the top of the 9th. They lead Stanford 6-2. Tell you about the new pitcher for the Cardinal in a moment.
Good slider.
The senior Cassius Thomas, who transferred to Stanford 3 years ago from Duke, is on. He has really good stuff. The numbers have not matched how good his stuff is in his 2 years at Stanford. In 23 appearances in 2024, he had an ERA over 9. Last year in 10 appearances, it was over 10. And the big reason why, in his college career, including his 6 appearances at Duke as a freshman, it is 43 walks to 42 strikeouts. But his stuff is lively. And if you catch him on the right night, you would think that he is Stanford's best reliever.
Duke, Stanford, now he just needs to go to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, where are you going to go to grad school, kid?
Yeah, what are you doing, man? Trying to hit all the good ones. Gonna be a doctor, just keep studying. Yeah, no, 42 innings pitched for his career, 43 walks, like you said, 42 strikeouts. Strikeout stuff, mixes in some walks in there. again, when you have strikeout stuff, when you can figure out command, that's when everything hits.
First pitch to Colby Turner. Upstairs a ball, 1-0. Trying to start him with a cutter there. Turner, a hit and a run scored in 4 trips. Bounced foul.
It has some movement on that pitch, too.
He front door to cutter there to Turner. And that's an effective spot. If you use a cutter to a righty, that's about as good a place as you can put it. Way outside. 2-1.
It's pitches like that as you go through your years in college as being a senior. You can't miss that much. It becomes a completely uncompetitive pitch.
Bouncer foul past third, 2-2.
Those are the pitches that get you in trouble, right? A hitter doesn't even have to regard it. It's in the other batter's box. I don't mind missing. I don't mind balls. It's the ball that's in the other batter's box that doesn't even give the hitter or the runner any look. They just completely disregard it and know you're not consistent with that pitch.
2-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase a really tight breaking ball, 1 out. See what I mean?
Yes.
Like he's got a sinker that runs in the low 90s. He's got a good cutter, and that breaking ball is a hammer from Thomas.
Yes, and then he sat there, cutter, and then he threw that breaking ball right off of it. Not much you can do as a hitter.
Jonathan Kim is going to pinch hit here for Luna. Apparently looking for him on the lineup card. It's somewhere between 20 and 22. They'll find him. Kim expected to see a bunch of time in the outfield this year. Really good contact hitter. Good career numbers at Michigan. They're looking for an insurance run up 4 here in the 9th. A base hit would get them out of slam range. Fought off foul. It's 0-1.
Academic All Big Ten, 270 with 31 hits last year.
He's got a career batting average near 300 in the Big Ten. Career 290 hitter. The Wisconsinite takes a strike.
See if he brings out that big breaking ball again.
It's probably either that or he's going to run that cutter in on his hands. Thomas ahead 0-2. Went to a breaking ball, and that one fouled away.
It's no fun anymore. You can't sit here and try to figure out the catcher's signs and cheat. You know what pitch is coming.
Said to guess along at home.
I know. This is not fun. I used to love looking at the catcher, kind of know where the pitch is, what they're going, what they're thinking.
Upstairs. Trying to fastball at the top of the zone. Too high, and the count 1-2 to Kim.
When you have that really effective curveball working, go back to it. Show the cutter in on the hands, go back to that curveball.
Missed down and in with the cutter. We count 2-2. Maybe he was trying to do a little too much with that cutter.
Maybe he's going to be effectively wild. Little arm side miss, a little pull, then drop the curveball on him. Yep.
Called strike 3.
There it is.
You nailed it. So did he.
It's hard as a hitter to be up there when you're seeing a ball in the other batter's box and the ball about to hit you in the foot, and it freezes you when you hit the curveball. Perfect.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Thomas. 2 outs for Noah Miller. 6-2 Michigan in the 9th. Looking ahead to the Stanford ninth, they will have 5, 6, and 7 in their order, starting with Rintaro Sasaki, then J.J. Moran, and Luke Lavin. The 1-0, 1-1.
Like you said, he has very good stuff. 92-mile-an-hour fastball, 90-mile-an-hour cutter. You got the 82, 83-mile-an-hour curveball. Good pitch mix. It's just the consistency in the zone. Again, that tends to be the word we talk a lot about the college pitchers is consistency in the zone. A lot of them have the stuff to miss bats, get outs.
On the ground, pass to diving Moran into left field. Rounding third and heading over the runner for second. A perfect throw from Sal, and the ball pops out from Lavin on the tag. Coming home to score on the play is Stressler, and it's now 7-2 Michigan. Boy, that's the second perfect throw Sal has made in as many days, and they haven't gotten the out of the plate.
See the tag, perfect throw. Just knocked that ball out of the glove. Watch it from another angle. Money throw.
Man, he had him by 10 feet.
Oh.
And just when he got him on the chest, the ball popped out. So an RBI single for Miller makes it 7-2. Boy, Brock Sell can play himself some left field, can't he? Like, their outfield defense is going to be really good. Their left side of the infield looks like it's going to be really solid. Fouled away off to the left and out of play.
Sell out and left, Marsh out and right. Hot playing a good center field as well, just not getting the plays that Sell and Marsh are getting. Bates at shortstop has looked really good as well.
1-1 the count. One and two. Hager swings and misses with that high fastball. He's 1 for 4 with an RBI. Time is set. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Hager down on strikes. Thomas strikes out the side, but Michigan adds 2 in the inning. We head to the bottom of the ninth. The Wolverines 3 outs away from a 7-2 victory. It's 7-2 Michigan as we go to the bottom of the ninth. The sophomore Preston Barr is on. The right-hander, the younger brother of Kurt Barr, the Wolverine starter, who we will likely see tomorrow, was originally scheduled to start tonight. Takes over out of University Liggett High School in Detroit. That is one of the really good high school baseball programs in the Detroit area. So Barr will face Rintaro Sasaki, J.J. Moran, and Luke Lavin as Michigan behind a strong start from Cade Montgomery tonight in his Michigan debut. The transfer from Utah Tech, 6 1/3 strong innings. And that's helped base the Wolverines of being 3 outs away from a 2-0 start on the season. Joe Longo, the grad student, the new first baseman. And Rintaro Sasaki will lead things off. Rintaro 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts today. First pitch strike on the inside corner, it's 0-1.
Barr, as a freshman, had a 7.23 ERA, 14 appearances, 18 innings pitched, 4 walks, so definitely throws a lot of strikes. only 7 strikeouts. So let's see if he can get some swings and misses. Pump that up a little bit, but a strike thrower.
Tracy Smith has lauded the depth that they have, feeling this is the deepest group of pitchers that they have had in the 4 years he's been at Michigan. And it's been on full display. Guys that are on the attack constantly. The 0-2. 1-2. Big shift on for the left-handed hitting Sasaki. The pitch. It's 2-2. So see the 3 infielders to the right. And the pitch. Swinging a high pop-up. Miller comes back, but it's out of play. And careening down to the lower level. Two and two the count. Just missed. Miller wanted it.
Good changeup down and away, just a little down, just below the zone. Whew.
If you're going to give the high strike, I don't know that you can give the low strike. You saw Miller getting ready to throw it around the diamond and hit the plate umpire in the face. And now Sasaki a leadoff walk.
You don't get to hit the home plate umpire in the face and then get the close call on the next pitch. But that's another near miss.
I don't think it was intentional towards David Buck. Here's J.J. Moran. Stanford is the leadoff man aboard, trailing by 5. Michigan scored a couple of insurance runs in the top of the 9th inning. When Stanford puts together a rally, those could loom large. Sasaki not being held at first. In a 5-run game. First pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Sasaki not running either.
Sometimes you take that first pitch and just see how they're going to play you defensively. Watch the pitcher go to high leg kicks. You kind of judge from there.
Moran to left. That's going to get down for a base hit, and the Cardinal have the first 2 aboard with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. So some life for Stanford. And here comes Luke Lavin, who homered yesterday.
Some life for Stanford indeed. You've seen the dugout get a little bit more energy. Not quite believing in themselves yet, but you got to start somewhere.
This is a potent Stanford offense that Montgomery held at bay for 6 1/3 innings. Arez has work cut out for him. He does have a 5-run lead. And he starts Luke Lavin with a strike, 0-1.
Really trusts and believes in that changeup. A lot of times you don't throw changeups 0-0. He did for a perfect strike, down and away.
The 0-1. High fly ball into right. Hager is camped under it and will make the catch for out number 1 as the runners hold. Here's the first out. And here's Ethan Hott. Hott singled home a run for Stanford back in the 5th. He is 1 for 3. The senior center fielder waiting. In the dirt. Count 1-0. Michigan's been very impressive through these first 2 games. Talked about their defense. They've had enough offense. Their pitching has been very good. deep down the left field line, hooking and going foul.
Yeah, all around they've been playing really good baseball. We haven't seen them outslug anybody or out like destroy anybody with their offense. Playing great defense, pitching very, very well, and they're not giving the opponent team anything, right? So you're not getting anything for free. You're having to earn everything you get from this Michigan team.
That one driven up the alley in right center field. Hager on the run. He can't get it. It'll split the gap and go all the way to the wall. Sasaki will score. Racing around third behind him to score is Moran on the triple from Ethan Hott. And now it's a 7-4 game.
Don't count this Stanford Cardinal out yet. Get a little bit more energy and a little bit more energy from that dugout. Triple in the gap will definitely pick a team up, and now they're within 3.
And boy, are those 2 runs at the top of the 9th looming large now, because without that, it'd be a 1-run game with the tying run at third and 1 out. Instead, they still need a base runner to get the tying run to the plate, and Tracy Smith on his way out to the mound. And he is looking towards his bullpen.
The one thing Preston Barr did do a lot, he gave up a lot of hits last year. 18 innings pitched, 25 hits. And right here, throwing strikes, but you're seeing them see the ball very well and making hard contact.
And Tracy Smith is pointed to the bullpen, and he is going to make a pitching change here. 1 out, bottom of the 9th. New pitcher coming in is Gavin DeVoe, who closed it out yesterday. He'll get a chance to save it for Michigan again today. They lead Stanford 7-4 here at the college. Gavin DeVoe trying to close things out after doing it yesterday. Back-to-back appearances for the 6'5" right-hander from Walled Lake, Michigan.
Now we're talking. This is why I like closer time. You got it done yesterday against a very good Oregon State team. Now you got to do it today against Stanford.
Brock Sell bats. Stanford needs to get another base runner to get the tying run to the plate. The freshman 0 for 3 today. Hot at third after his 2-run triple. Sell fouls it away. It's 0-1. Brock Sell, the highly touted freshman. Waiting for the 0-1 from DeVoe. Fouled away. It's Tardy again on a fastball. It's 0-2. DeVoe the sign. And the 0-2. Liner caught by, dropped by Culbertson. Hott's going to come home to score. It's an error on the shortstop, and it's a 7-5 game.
Whoa! The guy who has been rock steady last 2 days, ball right in his glove. Let's watch his eyes, see if he was looking at the runner before he caught it. Oh.
I think he just missed it. I think it just popped in and out of his glove. That's the last guy you would expect that to happen to for Michigan. But now the tying runs at the plate, and the top of the order is up with Tatum Marsh.
You have trouble here. You do not want to get to this spot. Marsh, Bates, Natai.
The difference in the game right now, the 2 runs Michigan scored in the top of the 9th. Marsh chops it towards the middle and through, a base hit. Sell will go to third. The throw offline. Racing behind him is Marsh. Heads up, base running. And Stanford has the tying runs in scoring position with 1 out.
Heads up, base running, exactly. God, he read that so well. The
That was an ill-advised throw by Pace.
That's exactly what it is. He had no chance to get the runner at third base. Don't press. Don't try to get him out. Just hold the runner at first. That run at third does not matter. You don't try to get it out.
Boy, we just talked about how well Michigan's been playing defensively, and a physical error and then a mental mistake has given Stanford new life. And Tracy Smith is going to come out and I think try and settle everybody down a little bit.
He's not even talking to his pitcher right now. Said one word to him. He's kind of talking to everybody, talking to the infield, because they all have to step up. And this is going to be tough, too. You're talking about how to play. Is Stanford going to try to bunt one run in? They're going to try something different. You have to know what to do as far as defensively. Plus, you have to let your pitcher know, hey, calm down. That was a ground ball. That would have been out. You would have been out of this right now. Relax and just make your pitches.
Nobody getting loose in the Michigan pen. Devotes their relief ace. The Stanford fans starting to get going. The Michigan bench trying to cheer on their defense. Charlie Bates at the plate, tying runs in scoring position with one out. First pitch, Bates takes low. It's 1-0. 7-5 Michigan, bottom 9.
To Bates, your job is just to get on base somehow. Just somehow get on base.
Slap foul, it's 1-1.
You know, driving in one run isn't good enough. You need to get on base. You can't. I'm not sacrificing an out for a run here.
Michigan would gladly. The third baseman Jeffries playing just behind the cutout of grass and off the bag. The pitch. Down inside corner, a strike. It's 1-2. That one must have run back to the inside corner a bit.
Yeah, thought it was a little in, but might have gotten the corner.
1-2 the count. The star sophomore waits. And the pitch from Devote. Chop foul.
94 out of Devote. Definitely the hardest pitch we've seen out of him tonight.
Bates taking a long walk around. Stanford trying to mount an improbable comeback. They enter the bottom of the ninth, down 5. They have the tying runs in scoring position now with one out. The pitch. Fouled away again.
95. Devote making his pitches. Making it tough on Bates, but Bates is answering with every single pitch.
The 1-2. Fouled away again. Bates just spoiling pitch after pitch after pitch.
It's almost like he doesn't want this thing to end.
Well, he would take a 3-run homer here to end it.
Yes, he will.
7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. 1-2 the count. Here it is. Swinging a line drive, base hit left field. Coming around third and racing home is Marsh. The throw is in time to get him. I think Stanford is going to challenge. Bates went to second. As it stands right now, it's 7-6.
If I am Stanford, I am challenging us without a doubt. We're going to see it right here. That's the first runner coming in to score. Here's Sell, and let's watch Marsh come in. Miller catches the ball. Oh.
I think they may have gotten him. It depends on where the plate is there. Boy, that was a throw that was offline. Marsh couldn't believe it. David Buck, our home plate umpire, gathering all the umpires together. He got him. Got him. His top leg did not hit home plate before the tag went down. Incredible. And then Stressler throws him out at the plate. The throw was offline. It looked like a really late send by Steve Rodriguez at third, Dave. It looked like he was getting ready to stop at third and then told him to speed up and go. And I couldn't tell if that was Rodriguez or if that was Marsh anticipating that he was going to get the stop sign.
I think it was Marsh anticipating maybe the stop sign, but it was a late decision by him. And again, the throw was off. Miller does a wonderful job of catching it and throwing his whole body in between him and the runner, between a home plate. Good tag. Threw everything he had at it. But again, little late decision. I don't know if I agree with the 1 out sending him on that, but you have to appreciate the aggressiveness out of Stanford and the chance they're taking with your leadoff runner and Marsh, when your fastest base runners turning the corner and getting home.
It's an RBI single for Bates. He goes to second on the throw. And we'll wait to see if this call stands, is confirmed, or somehow is overturned.
Again, great job by Bates. Let's not lose sight of that. Wonderful at bat there, forcing getting the base hit to left field. Stanford, this comeback is. They've been down all night. They haven't had any flow, any type of offense like this, and they are getting it going.
Miller's getting his hand taped up a little bit. The catcher, but Bates will be at second. We know that. The question is, will it be a tie game, or will Michigan still have a one-run lead with 2 outs? Again, an error by Culbertson helped to open the door to this, and then a bad decision by Pace to throw to third that allowed Marsh to get into scoring position. Now Stressler has thrown out Marsh at the plate for now. That's the call on the field, and we're waiting as the umpires are looking at the replays right now.
If they call it an out, okay, let's say they call it an out. Now you have or you know what, they call them safe. You got Natai at the plate, winning run on second base. Do you put Natai on and then face Reynolds?
I think your better bet is I think you can get Natai to strike out. I mean, I think you walk Reynolds as the guy you don't want to pitch to. We're going to get the call here in just a second. Call is confirmed at home plate. Steve Mattingly, our crew chief, saying that you couldn't see it there, but a little fist pump from Noah Miller, too, the catcher, who made that diving tag. Look at it one more time. Watch what Miller did here.
Throws his whole body in between the runner on home plate, and he is the star of that out for sure.
Wow.
He might have saved this game for Michigan. Of course, you still got to get Jimmy Natai out, but he saved that run.
The difference in this game right now is that tag and Lavin not being able to hold on to the throw from Sell on a play at the plate. Stanford's leading home run hitter from a year ago swings and misses. 0-1. 7-6 Michigan. Tying run at second. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th for Stanford. Trying to mount a rally. They've played at 4 already. They need 1 more to get even. The pitch. Natai fouls it away, and now the count 0-2.
Just like that. All of that energy was going Stanford's way. Now they're 1 pitch away from being done.
Everybody climbing to their feet. Michigan 7, Stanford 6. Bates the tying run at second. The pitch. Natai swings and misses, and Michigan hangs on. Noah Miller, the catcher, saves the day with the defensive play of the night as Stanford scores 4 times in the 9th, and Michigan holds on to win 7-6.
Absolute play of the night. As you see, the last pitch there, upper zone, like slider at the top of the zone. But the play of the night for sure, play of the day. The catcher, oh my God, saving that run.
Boy, did we end up getting treated to 2 terrific ball games today. What's in store tomorrow? Sundays are always bonkers in college baseball. I'm sure tomorrow will be as well. Tomorrow afternoon, Stanford takes on Oregon State. That's at noon Arizona time at 4 o'clock. It'll be Michigan and Arizona as you see some of the big moments from tonight. The Michigan Wolverines are 2-0 after they hang on to beat the Stanford Cardinal 7-6. Now, for David Aardsma and our entire crew here in Surprise, Arizona, I'm Mike Farron. Thanks for joining us for the College Baseball Series in Surprise. We will talk to you at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow here on Flow College.